Ladies and gentlemen,
Baby, my man. How are
Hey,
you?
what's up, bro? Pretty good, man. How you feeling today?
Waking up, got my coffee. We're making it through, you know.
Yo, Instagram is glitching for some reason on my computer, but not on my phone.
Hmm.
I'm not sure.
What are you gonna
Like,
do, bro? You don't have Instagram? It's over.
What's up, boys?
what's
Hey,
up,
buddy.
Zay?
How you guys
Like,
doing?
pretty good, Zay. Yeah, I was telling Stu my Instagram on my computer is glitching. Like, I could pull up the homepage, but when I go to search something up, it doesn't want to come up. But all good.
And you've been liking too many of those big booty girls pictures.
I think so.
Yeah,
I think that's what's going on. How
You're
you
in
feeling, Stu?
horny jail. I'm good. A little warm, you know how it is.
You
But
got you got 10 weeks?
what, 10 and a half now? Yeah.
10 and a
I'm
half,
headed to
okay.
Columbus tomorrow morning for the Arnold.
Oh
Uh,
shit.
it's gonna be fun. I don't know if you've ever been to one of those big expos or the Olympia or anything, but I've never been, so it's gonna be pretty
Yeah.
cool.
No, I never been to the Arnold or Olympia. Just the LA Fit Expo, but I never been to one of those
That's pretty
big ass
big though,
shows.
right?
It
I would
is,
think.
yeah. At one point, it was what was it the second biggest besides the Arnold or the first?
Yeah.
I don't know.
it used to be a
But
lot bigger 10 years ago. It used to
it
be
was.
huge, but now
Mhm.
it's kind of okay. Yeah,
I know we talked
You,
about them a bunch already, but the mid 45 guys in the uprising team, like they are sponsoring so many pros to go to the Arnold with them. I mean,
hmm,
like Jordan Hutchinson, Nick Walker, Hunter Labrada. There's a
really?
lot more. Yeah, like they're all going to be at that booth, not their supplement company booth. I mean, Nick isn't going to be at HD as far as I know. That might not be true. Maybe he's going to be
Mhm.
there a bit, but I mean, yeah, he's going with them, not the other crew.
How did that even work? Like how do you split your sponsors like that? Who gets first dibs?
I imagine whoever paid for the flight, you know.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah,
like
it goes
my
both ways.
travel was covered by Apollon, so I'm going to be with Apollon most of the time, but
Yeah,
I'm going to be able to swing by the gas booth real quick and,
yeah.
say hi to people. Um,
We're
so
gonna.
yeah.
I'm gonna have to reach out to this mitt company, man. I'm trying to go to the Olympia, trying to go to the Arnold's. What's up, Mitt? I love that. What's it called again? I don't know. What's that thing they make called?
Kratom.
Kratom. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You
I
forgot
love
what
that
it
Kratom. I
Yeah.
love that Kratom shit, man. I take Kratom shit. I take Kratom every day, every morning, every night.
Mainlining.
So
I just got an IV drip, baby.
yeah, all day long, baby. So hey, Mitt, if you guys want to sponsor somebody who's gonna promote the brand to the highest standards, just shout out to me, Stu, Zaid, and the
You,
boys over here at
you might
Finish.
be the worst sponsored athlete I've ever seen, baby.
I
And
actually take
don't
kratom.
change.
Yeah, I'm like the worst. If it's just like if it's some pants or something, and I just take like a gym selfie, that's one thing. But I just can't get myself to do like the mixing the pre-workouts. Maybe if I had just have a cameraman follow me around, I would do it
Yeah.
anyways.
Yeah.
I can't get my to pull out my phone and put it down on the counter and then mix some shit up.
Yeah,
I'm
bro. It's
just
it honestly like I have to do it. It feels super contrived, but like with what I've been doing for Apollon, like I try to make it obvious that I'm
yeah,
being awkward,
yeah.
because
Uh-huh.
I think people could see through it if I tried to like do it serious.
Too
And like
serious. Yeah.
I've talked to them about it and they like that. So I mean, they made good shit, whatever.
I
Um,
think that's my bad.
the
Go ahead.
with the kratom stuff, I actually wanted to talk to Guy about it because my girlfriend, she fucked up her knee. It turns out she has a torn meniscus, and like it's really painful, man. And we'd like to avoid, putting on pain meds if we can before she can get an operation done,
Man,
just to manage it. And I was going to talk to a guy about like kratom and if he thought it might be a good alternative to the fucking, potentially like opiates, because we want to avoid that if possible.
wait, so she can't train or anything right now?
So it's her right knee. The medial meniscus is torn. So she can train her upper body. She's doing cardio. She probably shouldn't be. She's doing hamstrings and glutes, but no squatting or leg pressing or anything like that.
Oh, holy shit.
Yes.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, dude, it's a
Yeah.
bitch. Like the thing is like it's like constantly aching, it's one of those things where it's just like, it always hurts. It's just in her head all the time and it sucks. So I'm gonna ask Guy if he thinks it'll be useful for that, because I know he dealt with a ton of pain from his shoulders and stuff.
Yeah. How did that happen, you said?
Uh well, we're pretty sure it was when we went to a New Year's rave. She like stepped wrong on it at some point. Doesn't really remember.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then it just kind of got worse and worse, and it's pretty fucked now.
The way you smirked, I thought you were gonna say it happened during sex. I was gonna say, attaboy, Stu.
No, that
Attaboy.
was a slow down. We're good. We're good. We'd have a fucking problem if that was. Yeah.
That was the case. Yeah. Damn, but I want to pull up some of these updates, but
Yeah,
I don't
everyone's
know if
putting
that's
pictures
possible.
out, man. They look sick. They actually look pretty damn good. I still
They're
haven't
the
seen a lot of glutes and hams, but
No, we haven't seen that.
Not much.
They're the way that you could share it, right? So isn't it their way like you could share it instead?
oh shoot, maybe.
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know anything about that.
Hmm,
Didn't
Or maybe
Samson post a back shot
he
right
yeah,
did.
before he?
at the Manion's gym, I think, the NPC gym.
Yes.
Yeah, but that gym has horrible lighting, bro. I mean, it's like too much lighting.
Yeah, dude,
No.
everyone looks like shit in there.
Yeah, you don't want to judge anybody off of that. Let me see if I could pull a YouTube. Maybe if I could pull up a YouTube video. You think that'll work? YouTube pictures. Who would post that? Like, okay, I know one guy. You guys follow Fazzy Fitness?
Yeah, I know him.
Yeah, I do.
He posts shit like that. I think I could pull that up.
Listen,
I
dude,
can
I'd
share it.
love to share my screen, but my bookmark page is like problematic. So it's
Yeah.
not porn. It's other stuff.
All right, let me share this real quick. Okay, let me know what you guys see. Start share. Okay. All right, we're in there. All right, let's see if we could. We don't got to see Heidi. We've seen Heidi already. Okay, you guys see what's going on?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's look at Mo. See what Mo is looking like.
Hey, Mo pulled off a fucking Houdini, bro. This is really impressive. That transformation picture he put up in like
That
what,
look
6-8 weeks or something.
Mhm.
Sid Rye.
Yeah.
So Sid is coached by what's his name? Fuck.
Patrick.
Andrew Vu.
Andrew Vu,
Amazing.
thank you. Yes, and who also coaches Mo here. So and they've been talking about him and everything. And Sid was helping with posing as well a bit, because Sid poses people. And he was telling me that like he looked way downsized, like he was in the 230s or something compared to his last showing. He looked smaller, but in the last couple of weeks, he's just filled out a ton, and it's all kind of coming together for him. He looks legit, man.
Bro, Mo is a freak of nature. Like, he's really like a freak of nature, man. Like his body, what his body does. Like people don't realize that first pro win he did, that was like what his, I don't know, third or fourth show, and he hadn't been training very long before that. So we just assumed he'd been doing it for a while, but his body just takes off, man.
And the crazy thing about Mo is like he somehow gets in shape, when his main, I don't know if his main business, but like one of the business he runs is a cookie company, bro. Like
Yeah.
I could never. We were talking about how like having kids and bodybuilding yesterday or the last time. It was like the shittiest part for that would be like you're prepping, you got fruit snacks in the pantry, and you gotta like not eat those at 2 a.m.
That shit's
Man,
rough. That
it's gonna
shit's
be
rough, yeah.
tough.
Because you got to keep that shit away from you. You know, once it's in your vicinity, that's when things get a little tricky.
Yeah, bro.
You
I
got to
just
keep that
cleared
shit away
out
from you.
everything in my apartment.
All right, let's see. Wesley. I think we talked about him last episode. I don't think he can't beat. I don't think he'll beat like he can beat like Ramon and Urs, but I think everybody else. I think it's fair game. What do you guys think?
I'd like to see him do it, man. He's real. I like his look, but if his look isn't what they're going for, then um,
He's
it
gonna
is
be in
what
the
it is.
7th, 8th, something like that. Yeah.
That would suck. I mean,
I really like his physique personally. I would wish he places higher, and I think for me personally, I have him as a favorite more than Urs. But Urs always places higher for some reason.
I do
You know?
prefer him over Urs a bit. Yeah.
Yeah,
is that what you mean, Zay? Like you prefer his physique over Urs, right?
yeah,
Me too. Yeah,
Yeah.
me too. Actually,
It's
no
very
offense to
unique.
Urs.
just no, not at all. It's just preference. Yeah,
Yeah, I think Earth has an amazing physique, but me personally, I like how this guy's physique is put together more. Um, okay,
I'm rooting
so
for my boy Michaeldul though, the Syrian
my
dude.
Sharing guy, yeah.
Yeah,
you know Michael in the past, I didn't like his physique. I just liked his conditioning, but his
Yeah.
physique has changed a lot because he was never like a round guy. He was always like just like super shredded, but there wasn't a lot going on. There wasn't a lot of pop and crazy flow. But now that he can come in, I guess a little bit fuller, a little bit bigger because the weight, he looks insane. Like he's looking round actually, he looks round now. So more power to him. Yeah, the picture with Raphael legit looked the same exact size as Raphael, which I know pictures you got to take it with a grain of salt, but that's very impressive. He looked huge in that picture, and I'm like, okay, good shit.
he's tall too.
He is.
Yeah.
Speaking of big, look at BK Beast over here, Akeem. He looks like he put it together as well.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's still flat because he's still depleting. I think once he fills out to the max, or at least 90%, he would look a lot bigger and better and
Yeah,
filled
bro.
out much
He's
better.
gonna eat like 2 rice cakes and put on 5 pounds and just be blasting full.
I was gonna say don't go for 90%. Go for like 80.
Yeah.
Because if 80 is gonna look like 120%, whatever that looks like. But this gym right here, you got to be careful. This lighting makes people look like Miss Olympia, so it's a little that goon light is a little crazy. Cause Brandao under that light looked like fucking. I thought I was looking at damn fucking Phil Heath in that bitch. So you gotta be careful with that light. But he looks like he's putting it together. Does he look downside at all?
A little bit in the quads.
Maybe, yeah.
But like Zay said, maybe he just needs to fill out some more. I don't know, but I think he looks slightly downsized in some of the shots. But
How old is he now? He's got to be late 30s, right?
yeah, I would assume close to getting close to 40s. These guys been competing since we were fucking kids at this point. Like I was just talking about, I met John De La Rosa, and I'm pretty sure he was a pro already, and I was a teenager. I had to be like 19 maybe, and I'm like, damn, how long has he been around? What the fuck? I'm a grown man.
Yeah, you get like 10, 15 years of like seriously competing, and then kind of the sun starts to set.
Yeah. All
Shit.
right, Ramon over here. I like Ramon's physique though. I like Ramon's for some reason the way I like Urge. I think Urge structure is great. Bumstead structure is great, but from a physique standpoint, I'm not like a huge fan of like the way their physique is put together. If I'm being honest, I prefer maybe because we're bodybuilders. I prefer like a Ramon or like a damn, who's the guy we was talking about? What's the other?
Or
No, the
no,
other guy.
Wesley.
Wesley. I'm having like fucking brain farts today. I can't remember people's names, but yeah, I would prefer those kind of physiques over the Urzes and the Bumsteads personally. See what else you got.
Yeah.
Oh, my favorite bodybuilder over here. Let's go. Okay, so he's doing Brazil, no?
Yeah.
He's doing
So
Detroit
he's
too.
doing Detroit as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like you guys feel like he's gonna do really, really well.
I think he might win. It's gonna be crazy, like him and Carlos in there, because
Wait. You said he might win it?
yeah, we're talking about the Brazil.
Brandao is doing it, bro. What are you talking about?
I don't know, dude. This guy is
Get out of here. Nah.
You really don't like him,
Stop.
Beatty, huh?
Stop
like
right
listen,
there, bro.
standing there on his own, he looks crazy, right? It's all gonna be like, what does he look like in a lineup? That's always what it boils down
We're not
to.
doing that. We're not doing that, Stu.
All right, sorry, Beatty. I'll stop talking.
He's a good bodybuilder, man. He is.
Yeah, but bro, you have to prove it, bro. You can't just because potential is there. We can't throw him over top 10 Olympians right away. Like until we see it, we
Right,
gotta see him next to him.
Dude, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No.
Okay? Simmer down.
I feel like in the past 3-4 years, like anytime somebody looks good in pictures or like gets a pro card, people throw them right in the top 5, and I'm like, yo,
Yeah, I hate it when the people do that. You gotta wait, but at the same time, like that, we've had like Rizzo, we've had Andrew.
We have it.
You know, you've had guys who really have just popped up and just blown away the competition right off the bat. It's not like they're new bodybuilders, it's not like they're young bodybuilders. Just they, were in other federations and they finally joined the IFBB and like here they are. And that's the case with this guy. So he's been doing this for a while. Can he get peeled is like a good question because, Carlos has always had issues with condition as well. I think Carlos is going to be a lot harder this year if he sorts out his gut issues. So is this guy going to be able to keep up with that? I have a feeling he will, but I don't know.
We're gonna see that hernia, how it looks like. He had
you can see it right there in that video.
It looks
It's
fixed.
good.
Yeah, it looks fixed. I think because it's happened a handful of times in the past 3-4 years, I think that's becoming the new normal. I think people think it's normal to just come out the woodworks and just go straight to the top, and it's not that normal. And it's not that he can't do it, right? It's not like the potential isn't there. I just feel like potential is just one small part. There's been so many people with crazy potential, but can you actually put it together that day and stack up? I think that's the part that's the only part missing. I think he has all the potential to beat any one of those people. I just don't like to jump ahead too far.
I don't either. I know what you mean. I think something that actually helps these new guys who are like popping into the IFBB who haven't competed in the NPC or IFBB before is like they are new, they are exciting. The league likes that, and they want to get these hot commodities to the Olympia because it brings eyes there. It makes things exciting, so that can definitely help them.
Yeah, that's facts. Yeah, and then I feel like it comes off like I don't like him. I do. I like his physique. He has a great taper, great sweeps. He has everything. I guess my only thing is that anytime somebody's put in the forefront without proving himself, I get a little, weirded out by it. But he has all the potential to be one of the best in the world, pretty soon too, We gotta get him on the podcast.
I'm just curious about I know these Russian guys, there's a lot of freaks that pop up and don't last very long from that part of the world. I mean, it's because they're very aggressive with their drug stuff, usually, from what I've heard about Eastern Europeans and Russian guys. So they run into internal issues and they can't keep competing eventually. So hopefully that isn't the case with this guy, but it's happened before.
Yeah, and also not even only the drugs, but everything, bro. You remember Alexi Lesikov?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was thinking
he
of
was
him.
huge.
Bro, by 17, 18, he looked like a fucking pro bodybuilder, like a top pro bodybuilder. But what's up, Xavier?
What's up, man? What's happening?
Yeah,
What's up, Stu? What's up, Zaid?
Howdy.
What's up, brother?
We was talking about
Oh,
Good Vito,
Sorry.
and then Stu brought up that in that part of the world they can get really aggressive with the cycles and the food and the training. So sometimes these guys unfortunately don't last as far as competitive career, right? And then we brought up Alexi Lesikov. I don't know if you know who that is.
I was about to say Alexi Lesikov, yeah.
Mhm.
That dude had some round muscle, man.
Insane, But I would watch him train, and he would train like ridiculous, like doing pull-ups. He's already damn near 300 pounds, doing pull-ups with 3 plates between his legs and insane shit like that. And then getting super heavy in the off season, like ridiculously heavy, taking God knows what, and I think his pro career lasted all of 1 or 2 years,
Yeah.
literally that.
There's this picture of him. I think Jay was there and Ronnie Coleman at some show, and he's making Ronnie Coleman look small back in the early 2000s.
I believe it. I believe
I mean, yeah, and he was in condition too. He's legit
shit.
condition. He wasn't just a big man like Marcus, where he's rarely in shape. But again, I don't know what happened to him, but he didn't compete very long, and that fucking sucks. But I mean, it's like running a race engine, in auto racing, the engines that they run are very tight tolerances, and you run them really hard and they have a 500-hour life or whatever, depending on the car, right? So they don't last because you're redlining the fuck out of them.
Damn. And okay, so these were probably all by what?
Oh,
Because
I was thinking of a different Russian guy. There's Alexi here, and there was another guy with Ronnie and Jay.
I know.
Oh, you're
I know
thinking of Fedorov.
Yes,
Fedorov.
Alexi Fedorov.
Yeah, he's talking about Fedorov. I actually seen him compete. I think he did the New York Pro one year when I was in New York. No? I think he did the New York Pro one year, but he had a torn chest or some shit by then. Something was torn on his body. But this guy,
torn back.
This guy was the baby face killer right here. He looked like he was about 13, but I think he was only a teenager still, because I don't think he competed far past a teenager.
Man,
he was fucking huge.
Pecs are so big, they're hanging there like tits. That is absurd.
That's ridiculous. Let me see. Right there. You guys can see this, right?
Yep. How old was he there? 2021. Well, that's when it was uploaded.
I know he's younger than me, man. So I don't know. 20. Oh no, that's when it was uploaded. But no, he stopped competing long before then.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. But
even back then, I mean, he was in his early 20s, man. But he was the beast.
Yeah.
Oh, if you're talking about Fedorov, Fedorov. This guy didn't get in shape like that, though. Fedorov did get in shape.
And did Fedorov have a long career? I just don't remember him
really
being in a lot of shows. And a guy that big and impressive, you think would have been a factor for years if he was.
Well, he just didn't compete for a while. I think he tore his pec and we just didn't see him more.
Well, he took almost damn near 6-7 years off, because That New York Pro I'm talking about, that was like his comeback after a long time, bro. You know, I don't know. Fedorov bodybuilder,
Fedorov.
FEDO. Okay, I'm way off.
Think.
FEDO ROV.
Yeah. It's Alexander, not Alexi.
I feel like David would know what happened to some of these guys. Holy shit.
He has big hamstrings, I remember.
But he was in shape. Yeah, like Stu said, I think that's the difference. When you're big like that and shredded, because the other guy, you would be like, well, as big as he wasn't in shape, so I guess it doesn't really matter. But when you're in
Look
shape,
how big he is in that muscle and fitness photo. Like he's not in shape, like the one just to the left of the big photo.
which one?
Just to your right,
This one?
near it, just under there.
Under here?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
No,
He was
that
old
one
over
you
here.
were just on.
This one?
Yeah, that one. Like he's huge there.
Yes.
That was like when he came back, like but obviously not in shape, but he still
Yeah,
had
yeah.
tons of muscle. So it's 16.
At that New York Pro, he looked like he was over 300 pounds on stage. He was so far the biggest guy on that stage, and he was in shape. But I gotta be honest, his body didn't look very put together. It was looking like, a little beat up, torn up.
Yeah, you can see that pec tear pretty bad.
Yeah.
Okay, that's unfortunate. I always feel bad when somebody like Tom Prince or somebody has a bunch of potential and just for whatever reason, holy fuck, this looks Photoshop.
Yeah,
They
he
didn't have
was
Photoshop back
massive.
then. That's insane.
It's just, if I don't know, I can guess at what these guys were doing to get there. It's probably a lot of stuff, and you can't redline yourself like that for that long. Your career might be 7 or 8 years instead of 15. It sucks, but it is what it is.
But the thing is, like, you can't teach that because, like, I have some pretty young clients, and like, they, you can't teach that kind of experience. They just can't see any further than right in front of them. So you have a client who's 16. No matter what you tell him, he just can't imagine one day he's going to be 25, one day he's going to be 30. So they're like, "Yo, I want to be pro by the time I'm 18," and it's like, technically, you have the potential to do it. But if you actually did what you need to do to turn pro by 18, 19, you probably won't be competing very long because it happens every time, bro. Every single one of them turn pro by 20 and they're retired by 25,
Yeah, and I think the vast majority, like even if you do, like if you go hard for a few years, get a pro card early, like it's still going to happen when it's going to happen because like you just have to be like bodybuilding for like 5-6 years before you have an impressive physique for the most part, except for some exceptions, right? It just takes time. Even if you're on 1,000 milligrams or 2,000 milligrams, taking 2,000 milligrams isn't going to cut the time in half. That's what I'm trying to say.
yeah.
It's just like it just takes a while. We've all been doing this for a while. It sucks. I'm impatient too, but I know that taking more shit isn't going to fix that slowness.
No, we know that because we've tried it. Most of us have tried it.
Yeah,
I know I've tried it. Zay tried it. Stu has tried it. So it's like, we were like, okay, fuck it. We're going to redline it. And we're like, well, I'm still gaining 5 to 8 pounds of muscle a year, regardless of what the fuck I do, you know? And we talked about last time with Joe, right? He's like, maybe if I started early. I'm like, I got to be honest. I think it's the same difference. You win the overall Mr. USA at, I don't know, 28, 29. Now you could have won it at 24, but it's going to be the same thing. Like on the back end, maybe you would retire you'll retire at 43 versus retiring at 38. But it's going to be you're the same person. The work you put in is the same. It's just going to be a little bit sooner, a little bit later. But that goes both ways. It's like if you take Test Pro, it stays in your system a couple days. But you take Test E, it might take 3 weeks to kick in. But on the back end, you'll have 3 more weeks, when you come off. So same thing with bodybuilding. If Joe would have turned pro at
beautiful analogy.
thank you, Stu,
Yeah.
So same as Stu. Okay, if Stu would have started later and turned pro at 30, okay, he'll just compete a little bit longer. Like Andrew Jack is going to compete to like 40, 46 probably for all we know. It's really the same thing. So rushing it and Stu being like, I got to turn pro at 21. It's like, okay, and then what? What do you think is going to happen? You're going to be Mr. Olympia by 26?
Yeah, the only thing I would say is like I think when you're younger, your body can take a little more abuse.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's all a matter of dose and duration over the course of decades, right? So you can't really cheat that. But the other thing is like if I turn pro at 30, that's the point where like I'm thinking, I need to start family now. There's other considerations in play. So like, if it had happened then I'd be kind of reframing it in my head a little bit. That's all.
That's the only drawback, right? Because I'm 31 and I'm too smart now to make stupid choices. Whereas sometimes those stupid choices get you further, right? So it's like if this was me at 25 going to USA's, right? I'll be doing some shit, But that craziness might get me even further. Because now I'll be like, whoa, I'm not willing to trade that for a pro card or for a win, But just that little bit of like, you're almost too smart, right? Whereas in your early 20s, you'll do whatever the fuck it takes, If you would have asked even Nick when he was 24, I don't care, I'll do whatever. Fuck all of that. I don't care about none of that, So you don't want to wait too late and be so smart that you're like, nah, I don't want to take that because I want to just make sure. You got to have
a little stupid, just a little bit. The appropriate amount of stupid.
Exactly. So Stu is very smart behind his ears, but he's still young enough that he kind of has that, I might do a little, little this, a little that.
30's a bitch though. 30's like just a few years away, man.
It's coming.
How old are you, Stu?
I'm 27. Just turned 27.
Okay.
Man,
Okay.
that's young.
How about you, Xavier?
Well, when you're closer to 30 than you are 25 at this point, so it's not really young anymore.
Well, everybody feels like they're getting old, so you actually get old, right? Because we're all sitting here, we're all fucking young. That's the truth. But we feel like we're getting past this certain point. But then you'll speak to like a 50-year-old, and he'll be like, "What the fuck are you talking about, bro? Yeah, y'all all kids, So
I mean, the thing is, like, I've always thought about like my performance on stage relative to my age is like an important thing, which I know at this point in the pros, it's not really that important. But like when I was like coming up earlier on, I was constantly comparing myself to guys like Elliott, guys Martin, because they were like similar age range. And I was like, fuck, these guys are better than me. Like I can't, I gotta catch up, and like Vito's like my age pretty much, right? And I was like, fuck, sure. I can't beat that guy. So I'm constantly doing that, and silly, I guess, but
you can definitely beat Vito.
Bro, that's what I'm.
Stu doesn't know how good Stu is.
You're gonna destroy this motherfucker,
dude. He's probably gonna be in New York. So
I want you to see for yourself, man. Because I'll be picking Stu.
Bro, you know how big Stu actually is, bro? Just think about it. Like Stu competes in the 250s. Stu is 5'8". He competes in the fucking 250s. Like that.
I am deceptively large.
That's what
I mean, you look in the mirror every day and it's like, that's just me, it's normal, right? But like when people see me after seeing me on the internet, they're like, oh shit, you're actually really big, So
yeah.
It's because online you look like you must be like 5'6" or something. But
it's the head thing. We've talked about
it's the head, it's the head.
Yes.
So people were like, oh, could he make 212? And I'm just like fuck, he could.
Yeah. And it's like sometimes you have to be there because like in videos and pictures, you could look at Tonio and Stu and be like, okay, Stu's bigger than Tonio, but it's close. No, Stu is way bigger than Tonio. Not even close. But yeah, because the lines are so pretty and clean, it can be deceptive. But like, okay, Vito, he has some clean lines. Vito is not Stu's size. He's just not. I don't care how crazy his sweeps look in the pictures and all that, but he's not Stu's size. I don't think he's close to Stu's size. You know what I'm saying? So
It's muscularity too, man. Like
muscularity. That's the thing. Like Carlos competes way lighter than me. He turned
but
pro
yeah,
as
he looks big.
basically a heavyweight. He drank some water to do the supers, right? But like, you know,
He
you're
looks
gonna
big. He
sit
looks
here and
big.
tell me like, you know, he's less muscular than me because I weigh more. Like, no, get out of here. And
No,
he's a
that
couple
no,
inches shorter and just, you know, it's absurdity. So
Carlos is big, but I think he holds his weight well because he does have a really small waist. Actually, if you look at it,
super small, yeah.
you know. But yeah, I mean, Sergio is a big guy. Stu was much more muscular than Sergio on stage. You know, Sergio's taller, had a bigger frame, but he was not as muscular as Stu. I mean, okay, but if we break it down, the only people more muscular than Stu are the biggest guys, like Nick, and they compete at the same weight, but Nick is more muscular, right? Neckzilla. I mean, who else? Who else we got? That's actually legit pound for pound more muscular. That's really the biggest guys, you know.
Yeah, there's
He's
guys out
tall,
there,
though.
but like I mean, the point is like I'm getting close to where I need to be, big picture.
Yeah.
So I don't anticipate I'll probably be in the low to mid 250s again this year. I don't think I'll ever compete over 260, you know.
Yeah.
I think that would be bad on my physique.
I think so. I guess then see, but Hadi and Derek, their weight, technically they're not that big as far as weight and heaviness, but we can't say they're not as muscular because Derek is muscular as fuck, and so is Hadi. You know what I'm saying?
And more important than muscularity with them is shape. Like because in like a most muscular, like you know, Derek is not like insanely what the fuck, not like Nick is, right? But you know, a front double, it's like, okay, yeah, I see why he's Mr. Olympia, right? So it's not the whole story, but yeah.
It's shape, yeah. Like let's say in the most muscular, you and Derek, you would look bigger than Derek, right? But in the back double, then it's gonna be a little different. You know what I'm saying?
And like my back probably has more muscle tissue on it, right? But it's not how it works. Yeah.
I think Derek has top 3 best backs of all time, not in density and thickness, but I've never seen a taper, a combination of width, taper, and conditioning from the back like that. Like the way his glutes and hams are peeled. Like Phil's glutes and hams are peeled, but I think Derek's glutes, they're not as thick as Phil or Ronnie, but I think they actually might be more detailed. And in that taper, you know, early Ronnie had a good taper, but the waist to Derek's lats come into his waist, I don't think we've ever seen that before with that level of muscularity and condition. It's insane.
The only thing he's missing on his back double is adductors, and he's not missing it from the front, right? Maybe he could just pose a little different. I don't know, but like he doesn't. You know how Nick has like fucking cords going up into his crotch in his back double, like his legs look crazy from behind, take up so much space. Like Derek doesn't really have that meat quite in between his hamstrings, you know.
Because he squeezes his glutes so goddamn
so
hard.
I think that's much, and you know that works better for him, right? Showing off all that detail is smarter for him. You know, Nick does not have that level of detail in his glutes, so he's not sacrificing much to not squeeze him like that. But
I would have, if we're talking about back double by, I would have Ronnie and Phil at a tie, and then I would have Derek. I think Dorian's lat spread is probably top 2, but his back double in particular, the glutes and the hams were peeled too. The glutes, he didn't have the crazy glutes that Ronnie, Phil, and
they were shaped different. The thing is, they didn't pose back then. They didn't pose the lower body to like the X frame. You know, their legs were straight forward, which was different.
Especially Dorian did that. It annoys me looking at it now because I'm like, that's not how it's done, but that's just how it was done back then, you know?
Yeah.
What I will say is that the fact that you would see like Sean Ray and Dorian not flexing their glutes at all, and you would still see some lines there. So that tells you motherfuckers were shredded for sure, but they didn't pose the glutes, you know? So it's hard to compare it. But from what we have to compare, I would still put them just in the back double, not the back. I think the back last spread Dorian is there, but I would put those three guys ahead. And I know people won't like to hear that, but I'm talking about just from head to toe, not having any bias whatsoever, because the legend name always overshadows just looking at a photo. But yeah, the hamstring is crazy. I don't think he was a good poser. I feel like he could have posed this better, if I'm being honest with you.
He's leaning forward there.
Yeah, I think he could have posed this better.
He's just got so much meat back there. It's pretty imposing, especially in a lineup on his own, because his biceps are as peaky, he doesn't have crazy arms and crazy taper. It doesn't look quite as good, but in a lineup, it's really good.
I agree. Now, the last spread, I think, beats Phil and Derek. Ronnie, it depends what Ronnie you're talking about, because we kind of got different Ronnies. 2001-ish Ronnie, I think it's like a tie. But we're also just looking at the back. If we look at the lower body, maybe Ronnie is ahead.
All three Ronnie would kill him.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
But back double.
Do you guys ever think that, like, because obviously when Dorian came on the scene, it's coming out of an era of, like, Lee Haney was, like, obviously phenomenal and, won 8 Olympias, but you're coming out of an era where you had, like, Lee Labrada, Rich Kaspari, those sorts of guys on the tail of Lee Haney. So when Dorian came around, everyone's like, you have to see him in person, because obviously the density, and I have no doubt that in person he was crazier. But do you think part of it is that everyone thought he was such a mass monster then, because you're coming out of an era of, like, the mass monster before that was Lee Haney, and then you had smaller guys before that. So that's why I think, like, if Dorian stood on stage today, I know some people say, oh, he'd win. It's like, I don't think so.
I think he'd win a lot of shows, but, like, because of his conditioning. Everyone talks about how his conditioning doesn't show through in pictures, which I believe, watching something move and flex in person is different. But in terms of, like, again, muscularity, he's very dense, but he doesn't have, like, big round muscle bellies and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
So I think
especially in the legs, his legs are not quite the best.
Yeah.
There's tons of guys who have better legs than Dorian.
I think if somebody showed up with legs like that on stage nowadays, we'd knock him for it. Like, that's mind.
Yeah, we would. Listen, when it comes to legends, people don't judge the physique anymore. They judge the legend. And, like, I get it. It's hard to compare times because they only knew what they knew. The standard was different. But people get carried away with this shit. Like, oh, this guy who got 10th place would win the O today. And it's like, yo, no, he wouldn't. Stop it, bro. Like, cut that shit out, So it gets annoying sometimes when people get so nostalgic. Like, well, if fucking Elijah won with an NBA today, he's dropping 50 points. And I'm like, yeah, but you got Wemby doing the same thing, but shooting 3-pointers and crossing people over. So, like, let's be a little realistic.
There's no way, man. Like, in NBA today, you look like you put a bunch of NBA players today in a basketball game 15 years ago, I reckon they would dominate. They would kill. Like, and people just don't even realize how much it's actually moving up. Like, it's moving up, just say a percentage or 2% in talent every year. There's more people on the planet. Like, there's a bigger pool to pick from, So,
and, like, the sports science and everything behind everything. I think, we like to foo-foo science sometimes on, as bodybuilders, but, like, it really is, like, they put the money into applicable research for athletics because there's actually money in that, not stupid bodybuilding shit, But, the training regimens, like the recovery stuff, all this, the diets that they have set up for these guys, they're on top of their shit to be at the top of their game, like they weren't all those years ago.
Yeah, man. Sometimes the egos get in the way. Like, I love all the legends. We love all them. We look up to them. That's why we got into it, because of these legends. But you got to relax with that. Like, I remember Dorian, I think it was on Patrick Bet David. He was on the Patrick Bet David, right? He wasn't on. Yeah. Was he actually on it? Oh, well,
I remember one-on-one interview.
I remember him talking about Curry, right? And he's really, like, kind of downplaying Curry, like, oh, but his legs. And I'm like, yeah, Dorian, you acting like you're not no Tom Platz over there with your legs yourself, And it's like, I get it. That Olympia wasn't that strong, but you got to show these people some respect, man. These guys are in shape. These guys are huge. He made a comment about Samson, like, oh, he don't look 300, he looks like 250, and it's like, nah, he looks big as fuck. I don't know what you're talking about.
like see him in person. He's a large man.
Yeah, just because he
He
has good
compared him
shape.
to Paul Dillette. He compared him to Paul Dillette, and he's like, if Paul Dillette showed up, you won't talk about Samson if Paul Dillette's there.
Bro, that's so ridiculous. Paul was a fucking freak. I'll give you
Yeah.
that.
Oh,
From the front, but his condition was not the best. He had Samson doesn't have. Samson doesn't have the best back, but Paul Dillette back was there wasn't anything at all going on there, you know. So
You guys, have you guys heard about Dillette cardio? You would just slam shitloads of clenbuterol and like get on a treadmill and go like 2 miles an hour, if like 1 mile an hour, just barely moving, super chill.
Lee Priest said.
Yeah. Lee Priest stories about him are hilarious.
Yeah, well, he just took more T3 and clean if he's not doing his cardio. It's like he's sweating.
You gotta try it.
That's like the other point, right? Well, you know, these guys today, they don't fucking train. Oh, yeah, motherfucker. Like you wanna go train with Wyatt and Hollinshead and Stu, but look at Dillette, look at Flex Wheeler. Like, nah, that's not that hard. I don't give a fuck what you guys. No, but we really trained with the cameras off. Okay, I'm sure you did, but no, some motherfuckers train hard, some don't. In any time, you know, there's guys who didn't train hard in the 60s. There are guys who train hard in the 70s. Every time you have people who train hard and people don't. Just because we're younger, it doesn't mean we don't know how to train hard. It doesn't. That's just dumb. Like there's no actual facts. People just spew this shit and people just run with it. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
especially with the training hard thing, whatever the fuck that means to you, right? It's like, I get it. I like training hard. I like people who like bust their asses. You know, I love Branch Warren because of the way he trains, right? And he's a very cool guy. But like, I don't train that hard, you know, but if I did, I don't think it would benefit me. So there's not some inherent like virtue to training hard. Like you should train in a way that works for you, right? Because if I tried to keep up with Branch, I would hurt myself. Like, you know, and maybe that makes me a bitch. Like, fine.
It doesn't.
I'm the first one to admit that. But like, I mean, I wish I could. I've never really tried it, but like, I wish I could like kind of fucking sling shit around like that. But I don't know. I found a way that works, and I'm not gonna fuck with it if it's working for me.
It literally makes you okay. I trained way harder fucking 5 years ago, bro. 20 times harder, bro. I was the worst bodybuilder because of it. You can only train for what your body can recover from. That's all training is. Train as much, as frequent, as heavy, as anything as your body can recover from. Anything more than that, you're going backwards. You know, I would brag.
It sucks because like you'll have these old hats who will say like, oh, there's no such thing as overtraining. That's just under eating or under recovery. Like, yeah, that's like I can only eat so much food. I can only take so much drugs. Like, and there's 7 days in a week. I can't speed up that time, you know, like,
no.
So I wish I was some kind of fucking super athlete unit that could do that. Cause like I get to spend more time in the gym and I get to train harder. And like, I wouldn't want to watch a video of myself to get hyped for training. Like it doesn't look cool at all. It's kind of clinical, you know, but it works.
It works. And it's like we said, what is training hard? Just because somebody's yelling in your face, come on, one more. Like that makes you train harder? Like, not really. But it's irrelevant what you think hard training looks like. All that matters is the results you're going to use from it. I thought I was cool as fuck by front squatting 5 plates like 2 weeks out.
That is cool as fuck. Like, that is cool. Okay.
That is.
Is cool. It a good idea? Maybe not, but like, it is cool as fuck. And if Branch Warren was screaming in my face, absolutely, I would train harder, right? Yeah. But I can't do that week in and week out, unfortunately.
What do you guys think about James training with Branch like 4 or 5 days out?
Bro, those videos were so cool.
That was cool.
Like,
they're so cool, but I was stressed. Like when James was going up on the incline hammer, and like he couldn't, obviously because his muscle was so fatigued, but he was just collapsing down on it a bit.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm like,
Yeah.
I
I
don't
It's
know,
don't.
risky
man.
there.
I think James moves way bigger weights than that all the time, man. And he's like,
True.
he's got strong tendons. I'm not super worried about him, but like, you won't ever catch me doing that shit.
No,
That close.
no.
But yeah, and the
Some
thing is as well, like he like being so close to a comp, but if you've got Branch there screaming in your face, one more motherfucker, one more, like you'd be like,
yeah,
okay, well I've got more then, okay.
you're gonna do it.
But,
The
yeah,
thing, some people don't get injured for whatever reason. I don't know why. I think James is one of those people. I've done all kinds of stupid shit and I never get hurt. So I can handle something like that 5 days out, but I wouldn't do it because I feel like it would make me worse personally because I wouldn't be able to recover from it and I would feel like shit. I wouldn't be able to do my cardio and it would just go downhill. I think James would be fine though, but in general, most people probably shouldn't train with Branch 5 days out. You know what I'm saying?
Do you guys
But-
train all the way up to the show, like in terms of actual workouts?
Wednesday.
During peak week?
I go to Wednesday.
Wednesday?
Yeah.
so
And,
you stop on Wednesday, compete on a Saturday.
Yeah. So what I usually do is I'll do like Sunday, 6 days out, I'll do my last leg day, and it's like fluffy bullshit, light pump stuff. And then I'll do like a pull day, a push day, and then an arm day on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Again, just fluffy, just moving
Pumping.
blood around. I'm trying to decrease inflammation and just decrease stress and relax going into that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I
How about
coach
you, Beatty?
myself,
Yeah.
when I coach myself, I train with the same exact weights all the way till Wednesday, and then I still train Thursday, and then Friday I get like a pump. But Compton, he's not gonna have me doing that, and I don't think there's any benefits to that. That's just me being like a nutcase, thinking that I'm gonna improve and fucking, you know what I'm saying? If you ain't ready by then, motherfucker, you ain't ready. So
Yeah.
What about pushing carbs? Do you believe when you're carbing up, you need to push the blood around into the muscle to help carb up better? Or no?
I think
Not
that
for
can
me.
help, but you could achieve the same thing from just posing
posing
a
yeah.
whole lot. Yeah, and that's what I do personally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I think it's
same
much better,
backstage.
man. Like
Okay.
when I competed, I remember I always trained and did the pump workouts like up until the day before, and then the first time I ever just went like, no, I'm just going to rest the day before because I felt wrecked. I was just like, nah, I'm just having the day off the day before. I looked so much dramatically better. Like I just held less fluid. I think my body was just less stressed. Like the day before, I just chilled, tiny bit of posing, and then looked dramatically better. And ever since then, I've done that, and it just, I don't know. I know some people like Milos. He trains his clients pretty hard up to the show. It seems like even like the day before, still going into the gym. I mean, he's not doing like big rhymey stuff, doing cardio like the morning of the comp training abs, but
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
that was
that
ridiculous.
goes back to the old school adage, right? Like the idea that more is better isn't the case because you could always do more, but sometimes you look worse, man. So you suffer enough to look the part. You don't suffer more than you need to. So some people need to suffer more than others, but even then you have to balance it. I think, like, I know for me, let's say I need to suffer. There's still too much. I think last year that was still too much suffering, right? If I'm Stu's coach, do I put him on 100 carbs just to say we're hardcore? No, that's stupid. Stu needs 300 carbs. Give him fucking 300
Bro,
carbs.
I'm actually having 100 carbs today.
Oh,
I got my rest days are really
That's
low
stupid.
right now.
Don't do that,
Sorry,
Stu.
guys.
Come on.
Sorry.
No, but like the idea of that guys just need to suffer more. Sometimes it's the opposite. You know how people say, I remember, what's his name? What's the guy? Hassan Mustafa, right? Oh, that guy, he just needs to do more cardio and more. And he looked worse. Aceto had him doing, zero carbs for I don't know how long and doing more and more cardio, and he continued to get worse. So this idea that these guys need to suffer more is not always the case, bro. Like it's bodybuilding is not that simple. Just more drugs, more fucking cardio, less food all the time. Within reason, and then you have to let that person recover, or you're gonna be fucked. You're not gonna look very good. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
it's
saying?
different for everybody. Like you got to figure out what you can handle training volume wise, like drug wise, cardio wise. And you can start to dig yourself into a hole, and you need to figure out when that's happening. Like if you just start feeling beat the fuck up all the time in the gym, you need to pause and be like, okay, what's happening here? Am I dropping my food too low? Am I pushing too hard? And assess and maybe feed back up or something. Don't use that as an excuse not to train hard or not to diet hard, and don't get too in your head about it. You have to really have a good sense of where your body's at, and it takes time to develop.
To learn that, yeah.
You also with Hassan. Sorry, you go, bro. You go, man.
No, I was gonna say you also have to learn what suffering feels like to know where to go and where not to go, right? Before I got with Compton, I thought I was suffering, but I wasn't. Then I learned suffering. Then I'm like, oh, this is what I have to do. Then I pushed it even further, and now I learned that I kind of found the threshold, right? I need to suffer this much, but if I get to a point where I wake up and I can't physically get up and do cardio without rolling around and taking like a phentermine and then roll back in bed and doing just that, that's ridiculous. If you get to that point, you're too far gone. Like you need to chill out. Take the fucking day off. Don't go to the gym if you can't get out of bed. Like if you physically not like, oh, I don't want to go to the gym, but if you're having trouble walking to the door, I think you're too far gone. I think it should be difficult to make it to the gym, but you should be able to fucking make it to the gym, bro. You're fucking 4 weeks out. Like that's not okay.
It's so hard to like describe this in words because like if you're like a crazy person and you just love pushing yourself hard, then you'll overdo it. You won't catch yourself. But on the other hand, like if you've never pushed a diet hard to the point where you need to get in true condition, then you like the first time I got in real good shape in 21, I was feeling things that I thought were really fucking wrong. Like I was confused, and Blue had to fucking counsel me through that stuff because it was a mind fuck the first time, right? But now I know that's normal. I know what to expect. I know what it feels like, and it's just you just do it. That's just what you do now. But it's scary the first time if you haven't done it before.
Yeah. That's suffering. Like when you're really, really low body fat. Like I said, you almost have to like push it. Yeah, almost have to go a little bit too far at least once just to realize like where that's at. And I did it to an excessive point where I just wrecked all my hormones. Like my body was ruined, like horrible fatigue and everything. But it was like you said, man, like I had one day off because I was doing like 2 a day, at least like a cardio and a weight session or whatever for like 12 weeks straight or 14 weeks straight or whatever it was. And I got to like 2 weeks out and I just said to my friend, I'm like, I feel like I'm dying. And he's like, dude, just take a day off. He's like, you're not going to get fat. Like just eat your normal diet, take a day off. And I did. Woke up and I felt awesome, but I probably didn't feel awesome. I just probably felt so shit. And it just brought me up to like, brought me up a little bit. And I'm like, I'm good to go. But yeah, it fucked me up, man.
Like Stu said, my first official prep with Compton, I didn't believe this is what people felt. I was like, "There's no way." I don't think these people would compete if they felt like this every time. Like this is not this. So I had to ask Compton. I'm like, "Yo, just keep it 100 with me." Like, how shitty did you feel in prep? Like, let's be real here. He's like, "Yeah, the first couple of times you feel like you're gonna die," and I'm like, "Oh, this is a thing." I even went to Nick. I was like, "Nick, how do you really feel like?" Let's. It's just us boys talking, bro. Do you really feel that shitty, or you okay? He's like, it depends. It's ups and downs some days, and I'm like, yeah. Some days you feel kind of okay, and other days you feel like you're on your deathbed. And I'm like, okay, so this is the thing. I had to ask people to make sure that I'm not gonna die, or everything's okay. Everything's okay, because you don't know what that feels like. You have no desire. I have no emotion. I don't want people to. I don't even want like my own girl to touch me. I don't want, I don't want to talk to people.
I fucking hate that when your estrus gets really low and like trend gets up there. It's like,
ew,
like sensitive, like to shit. And I hate that I'm like that. And I gotta like fight that like impulse to be like to recoil, right? But it happens. It's really weird.
It does happen. I mean, down to like somebody chewing gum too hard and like it fucking annoys you, right? Even music. Like off season, if I want to get hyped up, I want some like loud, obnoxious music. But when I'm feel really sensitive, I can't hear it. It drives me crazy. I'm like, that's fucking obnoxious. Turn that shit off. If I go to the zoo and they're blasting music, I'm like, yo, I can't work out here today. I'm sorry, I got to go somewhere else. you get really fucked up. Stu said something last podcast though, which is true. I think if you want to have some kind of decent relationships in your life, you have to pretend. I'm sorry. You have to go to your girl and be like this, hey, sweetheart, love you. You might feel nothing at that moment, but you have
I gotta try it.
Dude, force yourself to do it. Like, force yourself to put on a smile and like
just
be
fucking-
affectionate. And guess what? You might actually start feeling it. Like, it might. Like, bro, when I was in therapy in high school, one of the things that my counselor told me to do was just force myself to smile. Like, even if I didn't feel like smiling, just force yourself to smile, and you'll start to feel better. It's the weirdest thing because you're just like, it's forcing you just put a smile on it, but it actually works. And like, you really do have to fake it, and more important than faking it, like, you actually have to have some positive mindset going into it. Like, focus on the goal, like, understand this is part of it, and like, understand that this feeling is getting you closer to your goal. And when you shift it like that, it's a little easier to deal with.
You have to understand that you're making this choice, right? I remember Everson Tapani is like, listen, you guys are walking around so miserable and shit. Oh, I'm hungry. He's like, you're so fucking hungry. Go have a burger, motherfucker. Go eat it then. And it's like, no, you're choosing to do this because it's something you want. So understand that you're privileged enough to even be able to do it. Think about it. Some people don't have the health. Some people don't have the finances to do it. Some people don't have the shittiest genetics. Some people are born without limbs, all type of fucked up shit going on. You're privileged that you're healthy enough, have the funds and resources to do it. Might as well try to make it a positive thing, man, and don't feel so bad for yourself. 6 meals a day, yes, you're hungry, bro. Some motherfuckers down where you live, or around Venice, they getting 6 meals a week.
Yeah,
and they're not even complaining. They're smiling at you. Hey, how you doing? Can I get a quarter? They're not moping around. They're having a good time. Out in Venice, them homeless people be fucking partying and shit.
Yeah, the meth,
shredded
the
as
meth
I was gonna say, I'm
helps.
like,
But so maybe we're onto something.
there's a reason
there.
that
I don't know.
party.
Maybe we're onto something. So it's like, don't feel so bad for yourself, and don't make the people around you suffer. Yes, they signed up for it. They date a bodybuilder, whatever, but don't make them suffer. You can pull up, hang out with your family, be like, oh, I'm just gonna eat out of this, Tupperware. It's okay, don't worry about it. I'm good, and just smile like Stu says, smile, ha ha ha, and eat the food.
My mother will never accept that shit. She always just looks at me funny, like, why aren't you eating my food? Because it's really good. She's such a good cook, but it's never gonna change.
It's just one of those things, it's same thing around your girl. Like I said, with kids, if you have kids, yeah, you got to pretend. It's just that it might be a little tougher, but if you have
a little easier though, like, I mean, if you
really
actually love your
them.
children and like spending time with them, like,
That's
that
true.
could be fun as fuck. Like, roughhousing with your kids 2 weeks out, like,
Careful, don't get too rough.
throw them through a wall by accident. It's all fun.
Man, I actually had a client who retired because of that. He spazzed on his daughter, and he couldn't take it. He was like, nah, that was too much for him. Like the fact that he did that, he just couldn't. He didn't hear or anything, but like he yelled at her, and she got like really scared of him, and like ran to the mom. Like, who wants to see their daughter scared of them? Like that's crazy. You don't want to see that. So he couldn't. He just came off cold turkey, and I was like, I don't know if you should come off cold turkey, but. Yeah, that's one of those things. So
Never been the same.
You never been good. But yeah, you got to pretend it. Go give your girl a kiss, you know what I'm saying, and then go lock yourself in the room for a while.
It's just small gestures, man. Like if you're being cold, if you're just being like someone's talking, like your partner's talking to you, and you're just like, yep, and you're just nodding. You're like,
That's
you
me.
don't even want to
I'm
fucking say anything, but you have to pre-warn them. You're like, if I'm quiet, it's not you, it's me. I'll come to you, like, things will be like, but if I'm just being quiet, it's just so I'm not being like irritated. So you sort of just warn them, and then I think like you do, Stu, and like probably a lot of you guys do. It's like after the comp's done, make sure you make it up to them a bit. Like take them out for dinners. That's
you're
always
allowed
done.
you're allowed to buy your girlfriend flowers at like 2 weeks out. Like, there's nothing stopping you from doing that.
It never even crossed my mind, but you're right.
I should do that. I just Yeah, I'm gonna do that this year. Okay, hold me to that, guys. 2 weeks out.
Yeah.
Well,
I
you
message
got
this
to.
girl
Jude,
some
flowers.
Well, that's the
What are
thing.
you doing?
have-
I'm in the flower store.
no, but you have
Picking
to
up
write that
flowers.
down or make a reminder because let's be real. By 2 weeks out, your mind is in a different world.
You
bro.
ain't
You're
thinking
like-
about that.
That's why I need you guys, man. Y'all are
Yeah.
gonna remind me, okay?
Yeah,
Got you.
yeah. No, facts though. But it's, I mean, listen, it's part of life, and if you're gonna do it, don't make everybody around you fucking miserable, man. You know. All right.
My girlfriend used to
Let's-
think I'd be mad if I'm just quiet a couple weeks out. I'm like,
Yes.
babe, I'm swear I'm not mad. I really don't have the energy to talk. That's
I
it.
got nothing.
Or I just want to nap. If I can nap, man, I'll be okay.
Oh,
Even if I
man.
don't have much food, just a few pickles for sodium and some
Pickles.
sugar-free gum and some water and a nap. I could be okay.
I think,
You know?
dude, I'm gonna be napping way too much this year because, like, I'm not going to my job anymore. Like, fuck, I'm gonna fall into that trap. You sleep
the
10
life.
hours a day.
Good
It's
for
also-
bodybuilding, man.
It's also okay to apologize, right? You come in the house, you're a bit flustered, you're hungry, you run into the kitchen, and the girl's like, "Hey, babe, you know what happened today? I was at
Fuck out of the way.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
bro."
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, and you completely ignore her. You're like, and you just go to the kitchen and make your meal, and then she's sitting there like this, and later on, you're like, hey, babe, I'm sorry earlier. I was just really hungry. I'm sorry about what happened to Jessica. Yeah, that's a tragedy, but yeah,
Jessica's a bitch. Fuck her.
yeah, but fuck that girl.
Hope she
It's
gets
all
hit by a
good.
bus.
But you know, like it's okay to make it up after the fact. Or if you had a bad day yesterday and you see your girl is a little out of it because you probably were, you know, inconsiderate, but you're feeling better today. I don't know. You have more carbs, or for whatever reason, you saw your competitor looking like shit, and you're in a better mood. So you go up to, hey, I'm sorry about yesterday. I was kind of off. I hope you don't take it personal. It's not, it's not. I'm not mad at you or anything. It's just, oh, it's okay. I get it, babe. Whatever. It's okay to apologize too. Is all I'm saying. All right.
Yeah.
Let's go back to this. Back to the rounds. Hey,
yeah, that's where we started.
That's my guy.
bro, I gotta be honest, man. Everything we said about him that last episode, I actually do think he put on quite a bit of muscle. Unless it's the fucking lighting, but he looks
He
shit. His
looks good,
fucking
man.
fucking face
Neil
looks
Hill.
bigger.
I just want to
looks
see
like
his
really
glutes.
show them cheeks, Rafa.
It's a weird obsession, I know, but it's part of the game, bro.
Who's
There's
this?
a little glute. That's horse, yeah.
That's horse.
Yeah, but horse
Neil's-
isn't really known for
Neil was
condition.
saying that Neil was saying that Raf was like 17 pounds heavier than the Olympia. This was like probably 6 days out of the Arnold, and he was 17 pounds heavier than his Olympia weight. And that was top 10.
I got to be honest, man. I don't care about these weights, man. Everybody just throws around these numbers. It's really how you look. Like Hadi and
Yeah.
Derek, we haven't heard their weight once. Have you ever heard Hadi or Hani say, "Oh, Derek
No.
weighed exactly"? They don't mention it. You know why? They don't give a fuck. They're Mr. Olympians, because weight is irrelevant. So I feel like people throw around these weights, but nobody. Tonio didn't say his weight. He went and won New York, and he was probably like fucking 210 by the time he won New York. So it's when people throw around weights, I'm like, I'm not really interested. I'm like, but are you bigger? Do you look bigger? Because it could be 5 pounds of body fat, 5 pounds of.
He looks bigger though, man. When you see the
No, he
side by
does.
sides,
It really does,
he's,
yeah.
No, he's bigger for sure.
meatier.
Can we
Yeah,
just
I
take
didn't
a
mean
moment
it.
to appreciate Horse's hamstring here? I mean,
what's it
fuck
doing?
is going on there? Like, that's insane.
That's fucking great. Yeah. I didn't mean it for Rafa. I just mean it in general. I don't really care about the weight, but Rafa
Yeah, of course,
looks big. So, in Rafa's situation, he 100% is bigger. I can see it, but not because of the weight, but because how he looks visually. Same with Horse. He puts his weight in kilograms, so I don't really know what he weighs. But Horse is bigger. Like
Couldn't
Horse
do the
is.
maths.
But Horse is
2
definitely.
Times by 2.2.
Is Horse bigger than Rafa? I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Weight wise, yeah.
but
That's
he
all
was
that matters.
classic. Wasn't he trying to make classic like a year ago?
No.
2 years ago, I think. Yeah.
2 years ago. But that was gonna fail from the get go. He wasn't
He
gonna
missed
make
weight
classic.
wise. He missed straight away. He's like 6 kilos off.
He missed weight by like 12 to 15 pounds. That guy was not gonna be. But honestly, if I'm being honest, Rafa has all the aesthetics in the world, all the shape, the muscle bellies. But if we're looking at in the next 3-4 years, I think Horst may pass Rafa for the king of Brazil. What do you guys think?
He can, but his waist is going to be in the way. Rafa's waist is a lot smaller, and that's going to always give him the advantage over him. In terms of
I
shape,
agree.
you know what I mean? In terms of muscularity, the other dude is already denser, you know?
Yeah,
Does the weight-
Horse's waist has gotten a little bigger. It's not bad. People were giving him
Mm.
shit, like saying, "Oh, he blew his waist out." No, he didn't. It's a little wider because everything on him is wider compared to when he turned pro. But
Yeah.
he needs to keep an eye on it for sure.
So yeah, I was gonna make a similar point. So okay, Rafa's waist is smaller, but so is Rafa's shoulders and so is Rafa's quads. So is there really a huge advantage if everything is smaller? You know,
Are his shoulders small?
I mean his shoulder. I feel like Horse has a wider frame, no? Clavicle width?
probably has.
He does,
He has wider frame, yeah.
So my thing is, if everything is the same and you have a smaller waist, it's a huge advantage, right? Like Hadi versus Derek. But if everything else, if your shoulders and sweep are more pronounced, does it really give you advantage to have a smaller waist? I don't know if it does. You know, if Rafa continues to grow like this and keep his waist down, then Horse is not going to beat him. I just feel like Horse is going to grow at a faster pace than Rafa because he already has so far. He's made the gains. Rafa hasn't even made these gains in the last 10 years that Horse has made in 2 years, you know? And then he's with Milos. Milos is not shy. You know, we know he's not shy. So I don't know. I think in the next 3 years, maybe not. You know, who thinks that Horse is going to pass Rafa soon?
Brazilians, speak up. Boys, let your
No, I
voices
don't
be
know.
heard.
I have
so.
Brandon.
He can
Who
go
have to
wait.
keep gaining. Who have to keep gaining pretty much
Boom.
and just out mass him and just out muscularity him pretty much and do it that way. He can, but it just depends his rate of growth. Does it continue? I mean, the way it's gone so far, he's gained so much muscle, but can he keep gaining at like half of that rate, or is it just going to dramatically slow?
Oh, you talking about Horse?
Yeah, Horse.
Well, the advantage that Zayd said can work to okay, if Horse continues to get bigger and his waist continues, like, you know, if he doesn't keep track of it, I think Horse might be worse if he gets too big, right? Whereas Rafa, granted, if he could actually put on the muscle, I don't think he's gonna ever blow out his waist. I just think genetically his waist is too small to blow out. So Rafa has the most potential, right? I think we can all agree on that. If Rafa continues to grow and come in shredded, he should have more potential. But the way Horse is growing versus the way Rafa is growing, if it continues that way, then Horse is probably going to pass Rafa. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. But do you think he's going to get bigger?
Who?
I'm talking about Brandero.
He looks bigger now, but he has to take a year off. I don't know how much bigger he can get. I mean, it's been a long time. It's been a long time, right?
Been competing for ages, man. I watched there's a video of I think I mentioned it, like 2017 Oral Classic. He was there with Dallas and Cedric. Crazy to think both those guys are gone now, but I mean,
that's a long time ago.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, Rafa turned pro at 21, 22.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
This is we're talking about is damn near 10. I don't know, is he what, 29, 30 now?
That's literally what I was just checking.
Yeah.
I think around it. So we're talking about this man has been pro for maybe 8-9 years, right?
He's 30.
Yeah. So 8-9
Still
years. No,
Yeah,
still
very
very
young.
young. Yeah. Because Horse is maybe 28. I don't know, 29. So as long as he's been competing, he's probably gained 20 pounds of tissue in the last 8 years, which is not a shit ton, right? It's not a shit ton.
No.
You know, I don't
I
know.
think I mean I'm trying to think if those two have ever been on stage together. I don't think they have.
No, because when
Oh,
Rafa was
gotcha.
Rafa was a pro when the other guy
Yeah.
probably wasn't even barely lifting weights.
Yeah.
You know, we're talking about 8 years ago. I don't think Horst was a bodybuilder 8 years ago. You know,
Mhm.
All
I
right.
wonder if they get along, man, or if they're like there's two different camps and they're like they don't like each other, you know?
They train together once a week.
Oh, they do? Oh, okay, never
they
Yeah,
do,
yeah.
but
They're good.
there's definitely two different camps. Like in Brazil, they're kind of split. You know how that goes.
Mm.
You know,
Yeah.
I can imagine. Yeah.
whose team are you guys
Man,
on
Brendale.
Raph.
right now?
Yeah. Brandao, I think. I just want to see him finally like show up big and conditioned, like because he's been, he's been the streamlined aesthetic guy for so long, and like I want to see him, finally put on the muscle that he needs.
Yeah,
And the thing is, when guys get bigger, sometimes they can blow their waist out. It's not happening with this guy. So like he'll just
yeah.
look better if he's in condition, you know? So
Mhm.
Mhm.
let's fucking see it already. It's been a while.
The interesting
Yeah.
question would be, how do you know if a dude hit his max on growth in terms of like actually putting size on? How can you tell someone is capped out?
I don't think you can cap out. I think it's a matter of what you can handle health wise and what you can handle like body. Like Ronnie couldn't train because he tore his body apart. And then you have other people whose organs are fucked up. As long as those things are in place, I don't think you can always just push more growth, more food, more growth, you know, in my opinion. When do you look worse is the real question, right? When is it going to be beneficial? If Bonac adds another 10 pounds, he looks worse. But I think he can add 10 pounds if he wanted to. Just push more growth, more insulin, eat more food, you
Dude,
know?
yeah, Bonac doesn't take hardly anything too. So
You
I
see my
mean,
point? Yeah. We could say Stu is close to his max, but I don't think so. I think he is because he doesn't see any point of being 270. But I think Stu, at some point, if he wanted to continue to fucking double the growth, double the food, and do that for another 3 years, I think he could. But he might look worse, you know.
yeah, the thing I'm actually starting to worry about is my waist. Because I mean, I always have a gut in the off season, and it always comes down to like nothing. I have a really good waist on stage, but I was younger in the last couple of years. I'm 27 now. At 28, 29, 30, you get older, like that elasticity of the tissue starts to go away, and I'm a little concerned about it. Not this year. I think it'll come right back down, but eventually, like I don't want to be force feeding in the off season like I am now, because like even no matter how good your digestion is, and my digestion is pretty smooth, like you're still gonna have a gut, man. There's just a food volume thing. It's just unavoidable. So if that's the case, then and it doesn't start coming back down the next years when I diet, it's like, what am I doing this for?
Yeah. It's like you can have a small waist genetically, but if you're not careful, I think everybody is capable of blowing out their waist. In the off season, I used to get so fucking fat, and people be like, "You're gonna blow out your waist." I'm like, "Impossible." And for years, it would just come right back to like a tiny ass waist.
Until it doesn't.
But until in 2021, I think I overpushed it. You remember my gut that year? I had a legit gut.
In 22 or 21?
Oh yeah, which year did you win?
22.
22.
Yeah.
Like granted, I kind of win and binge, but even without that, even prejudging, my waist was it was not my usual waist. So it's because I was like 255 that show, and my waist was fucked, So it's possible. You got to make sure you're not over pushing, whether it's off season or even on the carb up. Even at the Cal last year, my waist wasn't the best it could have been. So
I kind of like this year. I want to try to like do a bit of a carb earlier in the week and then not eat as much Thursday and Friday before the show. Because like, it kind of like that, I guess. Because like my waist is good in check-in pictures that I'm sending on Thursday and Friday. But then on stage, I was looking at it compared to like 2 weeks out. It's like it's controlled, but it's not as tiny as it was. There's just food in there. you know, there's just
Yeah.
nothing you can do about it.
Mm.
So if I could just reduce the amount of food I'm eating those last couple of days, because I don't need to at that point, then that would be good.
Yeah. You could push, like, let's say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday push and spill a little bit, and then Thursday, Friday pull back and let that spill go down, and now you're bursting full, not spilled, and then not bloated. It's a little. It makes it. I made it sound easy, but it's a lot trickier to time
Yeah.
it that perfectly.
Yeah, I know.
You know?
I've talked to Blue about it. Usually, like he has me rolling at a peak week around like a 3 or a 4 out of 10 fullness wise, and then we build that up to like a 5, a 6, a 7, and like a 9 before bed on Friday, right? So it's like a gradual build up. The water's coming down, and it all kind of hits properly. But if I could roll in at like a 5 or a 6 instead of a 3, then I think that would make the whole process a little easier. But that means I have to be
Yeah.
in shape at like 2 weeks out, you know,
That does,
really
yeah.
in shape.
Uh,
If you mess around and you're not in shape doing that, it
Yeah.
just
Nothing works
it
when you're
just-
not in shape,
yeah.
guys.
You
No,
kind of
but even a bit, like if you're ultra shredded, it is actually like hard to spill.
Oh yeah. I
It
don't
is
think
hard.
I've ever spilled, you know, like in all my competitions, like when I eat more, I just kind of get fuller and harder. It's just pulling water into my muscles, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually easier to spill guys like Stu though, because if you know you're working with Akeem, you're never gonna push him. You're gonna be like,
Mhm.
we're gonna stay like at a 6. But with like guys like you, what's the guy Trey, what's his name? Trey Attic?
Trey
Ray
Burrow.
Adcock? Yeah.
So see, he has a good metabolism. So, or like Dennis Wolf, right? So you're like, fuck, you're still flat. Double it. Fuck, you're still flat. Double it. And then you hit like Friday and you're like, fuck, you're still flat. You double it. And for whatever reason, on that Friday, his body starts to soak up them carbs. And then he wakes up Saturday and he's like, why,
Yeah.
why did you wait till now to fill up? You
With
know?
Trey, it was like they I know Blue and him decided to push fullness harder than they would usually. That prep was hard for him. He had COVID twice. He was in the hospital. It was a fucking mess. But because he like his back was behind, and so they needed to like try and fill him out and try to make that like look good.
He has
But
to.
I think they ended up doing it too much, and Trey, you know, resonated that.
That's the thing though, because he's so lean and has the gifted metabolism, you have to push. And then how hard can you push? Because if he's flat, okay, that year he got 5th, I think, at the USA's.
Yeah, 22.
He might have been the most shredded guy, right, in the lineup, right? But it still got him. It didn't get him first. It got him 5th. So it's like just being the most shredded guy in the lineup isn't good enough. So for him, he's like 6'1". He has to be blasting full. But because his metabolism's so good, you keep pushing it. When to stop, you don't really know, because it has to be such perfect timing. So that's going to be his only struggle, how to actually be full, you know, without spilling out. Because if he was super flat, it would have been the same difference. He still would have fell back anyways, you know.
And you know, he's got to bring his back up a lot. Everything else is there for the most part. He just needs a way bigger back.
Facts, yeah. The guys who have huge arms and huge shoulders,
Which he does. Like, holy
exactly.
shit.
You know, so I think for whatever reason, I think you just use your back. I mean, you just use your shoulders and arms on back movements. You know, that was me as well for a long time. All right, let's go. We're still not done with the rounds. Who else is left?
Samson, there's a
Yeah,
picture of him.
I want to
See if your Instagram's working yet.
I hope so, because motherfucker, this bitch.
I just put up a preview video for you, Arnold, which has a few updates in it.
Let's just plug.
Oh,
Let's
yeah.
fucking plug Xavier's channel.
Xavier,
Easy.
my guy, desktop.
Coming through.
It should be up. Should be up.
Oh, you literally just put it up before you got on here, no?
Yeah,
1
yeah.
hour
That's
ago. Fuck yeah.
All right, let's get it.
You're not
You
premium.
guys, who?
You haven't got premium.
Oh no, I don't got premium.
Come on,
I'm
bro.
cheap,
You need like ad block. Let's go.
I'm cheap. Oh, this guy pulled out. Yeah, Remy. right?
He's having
That's
he's
right.
having a baby. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Oh, he having a
Oh,
baby?
congrats.
Oh,
Yeah. Well,
Zay.
his
Congratulations.
wife is, but yeah.
Oh wow, yeah, that's one of those things. Babies in bodybuilding, right?
What
Well,
do you guys
Justin,
think about Justin's triceps?
I knew you were gonna ask that.
I had to. I mean,
It's just a glitch in the system.
people avoid it, but I mean,
see.
this is literally a physique contest, and we've had judges say Hardy's delts, held him back. So, like, everyone's so
don't-
sensitive about it, but I mean,
I got to be honest. It doesn't look that bad, and this might sound fucked up, but I think he should be pinning his triceps because his triceps are usually really really flat, and now it has to be done properly. They won't look like that on stage, I'm sure, but if he
Hope
does it
not.
properly, but if he shows up on stage and it doesn't look like somebody took a bite out of his triceps, it's gonna look. I think it might look better. It might look fuller, because it looked like somebody took a bite out of this portion right here. But
I mean, his arms have always been real big. His triceps haven't, but like they've always been real big and real smooth. So,
do the math.
He still performed well regardless. So that tells you anything. Like if it's fucking obvious, if there's a triangle pointing off your delt, that's a problem. But if there's blurred definition in your arms and stuff like that, I don't think they really care, man. Like, look at Derek Lunsford.
Yeah.
He has zero separation in his arms from the
He
front.
does, yeah.
The thing is, the biggest name there.
he like Justin actually like taking that away. This pose actually looks sick. Like he actually like the hamstring hang and everything. He looks like he's back to being Justin. It's just there's a few things where I'm like, it just doesn't flow the same way exactly. And he's always been called out online for delts and stuff like that. But I don't know.
We get super fixated on like some of the site enhancement, but it's like, this is bodybuilding, man. There's a lot of shit that we do that's sus or like fucked up or over the top. But that's the point. It's an extreme sport. So I don't know why, like online, we see it, right? But online, like people go crazy, like, oh, this is gonna ruin your body. Motherfuckers, all kinds of motherfuckers are doing this, and they look great. Some of the legends, the best of all time that we idolize, have been on record talking about shit. There's a story about Ronnie buying all the fucking Eciclean so nobody else can get it and loading his shit up to the brim. Okay, but we look at that and be like, he looks great.
But if it looks good, I mean, that's all that matters.
Be able to tell.
No,
I don't care about it. But if there's stuff going on and the judges can see it, then it's like, I think it's ridiculous not to like at least mention it. You know what I mean? Where he could be marked down for it, for all we know. And for all we know as well, he could have shot his tricep and then it's gone down by the time the show comes around, or it's reduced dramatically to the point where it's not an issue. So I'm hoping but I mean,
I think that's what's going to happen. But my whole thing is that I think people make a huge, like this doesn't look great. But let's be real. He don't got Valentino arms. Like, it's not that fucking bad. He doesn't have a fucking sausage in his bicep, So it's like, it happens. Or like you see a picture of a video of Sean Clarita curling. Oh, why does his bicep look like that? Like, it doesn't look that way on stage, so it doesn't really matter. I don't care if he shot some primo in his bicep that day. Okay, cool. It's bodybuilding. We got to shoot it somewhere. If you see a knot on somebody's glute, nobody's gonna think, what the fuck is there? You know what's in there? It's just gears in there or whatever the fuck it might be. I just don't feel like it's a big deal. We pin shit, motherfucker. We take drugs. It's what I'm saying? It's not
as long as it doesn't look shit on stage. And man, on stage. I get it because you've got to like. I understand guys that rotate sites and they'll say like their delts will be a bit pointy and then just like, oh shit, I'm rotating my sights. But, they might be just prone to inflammation from shots or whatever. I don't know.
I mean, I'm not hitting my delts at all anymore. My lateral delts, I'm not hitting them at all because they're starting to look a little pointy. I'm not going to lie. Like they're not like pointed up like a triangle or anything, but like they just stand out more than like my rear delt behind them. Mm-hmm. So I need to start training my rear delts more to fill it in.
I know what you mean.
It doesn't look like weird and pointy, but it does look like overdeveloped compared to my rear delt. So I'm like, I don't want to put any more shit in there. It's gonna make it even worse.
Yeah.
So I'm just avoiding it.
Preventative, man. Preventative. That's smart.
Yeah, catch it early if you can.
Yeah.
I got so much scar tissue. I got so much scar tissue in my side delts. It's not even funny.
Yeah.
Can you see it? I know you can probably see it. I got so like
But
if I even try,
that doesn't look weird. Like that looks like the
No.
curvature of a muscle belly, right?
yeah. But if I even try to go in there, it sounds like Velcro. It just
Yeah.
it's not nice. So I definitely try to refrain. I try to refrain from the delt shots. You know, rear delt shots. If I could reach, like right now, I'm not that like full. I could reach. I give it a little pin in the rear delts. You know what I'm saying? But
Another thing that's helps. This is a jigsaw, and it's got a massager attachment on it. You can buy these on Amazon. It's like
Nice.
a cordless jigsaw. It's very violent,
whoa,
but it works really well. Like all those dinky little massage guns they got, they're fucking useless, man.
yeah, they're not doing much.
That thing is cheaper and it works like a charm if you can tolerate the pain.
Yeah. Well, as long as it doesn't show on stage, even if it's 5 days out, that's cool. Just don't come to stage with that. But listen,
Yeah.
people are pinning their arms left and right. I'll definitely
Oh yeah.
say that. Mhm.
But outside of like just that, like he looks great there. Like the
He
hamstring,
does.
like is wild.
Yeah, the hamstring drop is crazy.
Dude pulled it together. I stayed corrected, man. You never know with this guy, you know.
Justin is different, something else. You know, I was gonna say he always pulls it together, but he doesn't always. Sometimes he pulls it together. You know, Akeem looked like he's pulling it together within reason.
Side legs coming in.
Yeah, it looks better.
I just don't know at this point if even if Akeem is like 90%, if it's gonna be good enough to beat Rafa and Horace and James. I don't know if it will be. What do you guys think about that?
I don't
For
think
Akeem?
so. Again, like his back is just never going to be that
Yeah.
hard like it needs to be,
Mhm.
but everything else will be.
And honestly,
Potentially.
his back isn't super developed. I gotta be honest. Compared to like Rafa, even James, his back not only is it not hard, but it's not super developed really. You know, low back is pretty dense, but all the like the lat is not crazy like that. You know?
Well, it's big. It's just high, you know,
it is high,
which just it fits together funny. Unfortunately,
That's why he has such crazy erectors because his lat's attached so high. So you
Yeah.
can see like a huge long erector down there. All right, who else is in there? John looks
John
like
looks
he's in
awesome,
shape.
man.
Yeah. As long as when he fills out, his legs fill out a little bit more, I think he'll be good to go.
His legs are funny, man. Like they always tend to look bigger on stage than they do off stage. It's just I don't know if it's just the density of his legs or whatever it is, but yeah, they just always seem to look bigger on stage. Like there's a photo of him and Hunter side by side last year.
Yeah, it
and
did look good on you, right?
his le-
You're right.
His legs are a little bit down, but like you compare it to that was like how many weeks out from last year's shows, and his legs look way smaller there.
I think from the back and side, his legs are more impressive than from the front because he doesn't have the sweeps like that, but he has really good adductors, really good hamstring drop, and his glutes. If his glutes are in shape, he has huge glutes, right? So when they're in shape, they look great. So I think from the front is really like I don't know, the teardrop and the sweeps aren't that crazy, right? It's more you just see mostly adductors. Let me go back to it.
His adductors and his rec fem are very large. Look at how much
You see,
space on the front of his
Yeah.
quad that takes up, you know?
that's all adductors right there. Sweep isn't bad, but it's not crazy. So
Look at how fucking deep that split is between his rec fem and his sweep and his teardrop. Like that is he's
That's
in
pretty
good
gnarly,
shape, man.
yeah. So from behind, you see all that adductor. You see the crazy hamstrings. You see the glutes from the side. I don't know why he didn't post any side pics or back pics. Yeah, but his legs usually look better from the other angles. Okay. I think this is Horse. I mean,
What about crazy legs? Jesus.
and like Stu said, his waist looks good there. I think in all the not all in most of the poses, almost all the poses, his waist looks really good, man. I think really only the abs and thighs. I don't feel like his waist looks super impressive, but it's a good waist, you know, right? Would you guys agree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued to see what it looks like on stage at this show, just to like compared next to Rafa, and then you've got Samson, who, you know, even though Samson has like a little bit of distension from the front, his waist still comes in really, really small from the side. So it's like, I'm wondering if he'll look a bit more straight up and down in the front and back double compared to some of these other guys that have like that really nice taper. So I'm just, I don't know how he'll look in the lineup. I'm undecided.
This guy is gonna surprise people. I think he always looks better in lineups than on his own.
Yeah,
He's a big man with a big head, so it kind of throws off the proportions again, like we've talked about. But like
big man, big head always makes you look smaller in photos alone.
yeah, dude.
Yeah, he's shredded. He's shredded, bro.
Yeah,
he's big too,
dude.
And look,
if you're not rooting for this guy, you're an asshole. So you should.
Yeah.
If you don't like Antoine, I don't trust you. I told you that before. Anybody who don't like Antoine, I don't trust you. But look at it. His upper body came up. I don't remember his chest, arms, shoulders being that impressive in the past. So he definitely did his homework.
On their own,
Sounds
they
like
don't look that freaky, but like put together in that pose, it's like great.
Listen, man, he's won 2 pro shows. He's beat some good guys. I mean, Antoine is. I think Antoine's legit, man.
He poses so good, man. Don't forget.
He does. Shit, he's one of the best. He's probably the most entertaining poser.
Hell yeah.
And you know, and he's just likable. I like the guy.
He sounds like he's had a dream prep too, because he's been eating he's been able to up his calories a ton throughout his prep, and he's eating like 4,000 calories. And I'm like, I don't even know how that works. And he's like one of the most shredded guys, if not the most shredded guy in the Arnold lineup.
Yeah, he's legit. I forgot to do something real quick. Don't mind me. Just look at James.
Yeah.
James looks
Play the video if you want.
Oh, I'm not playing it? Oh, my bad. Great host.
I put a little bit of James training with Branch in here, but it's mostly posing. But
he looks hard as nails. Look at that.
But he looks full, which is great, because it's that balance, right, of being full and shredded that seems to be the hard part for him to get down. But he looks good, man. I don't know. With James,
he's fucking pumped to the max.
Bro, I think there's 4 guys who could probably be third, right?
Yep.
If we're assuming that Hadi and Samson will be 1 and 2, which more than likely, right? But we're looking at Rafa, we're looking at James, we're looking at Horse. I don't know if you guys are looking at Horse. Are you guys looking at Horse for third? He's in the mix.
No.
Potential, potential.
Yeah, I don't know.
I hope we were talking about eating a little earlier in the week. I think James probably would do well to do that, because we know he has to eat a lot, right? He gets flat and then he has crazy food days, right? So it looks like he's pretty full there, like 5 days out or whatever. I think hopefully he's rolling into peak week shredded already and pretty full, and then he can just dry himself out at the end. Because if he's got to eat shitloads of food Thursday and Friday to try to fill out, then he's might have waist issues. It might not be enough, and then he's in trouble.
Yeah, we don't want that.
But it looks like he's on track.
Who do you guys have for third though? If you had to pick one,
I got James.
Dude, don't make me pick that. That's hard.
I think I got Rafa, man. I think I got Rafa.
I think Rafa too, man. But boy, James is so impressive.
Dense.
I love the density. I'm like, as a fan, I like that look.
look at that, like the side hamstring, like everything about Raf, apart from maybe a little bit of upper body thickness, like is just, I don't know. I think he's going to shock people even more than we think.
Like low key, I want to see James under those gym lighting because James was in horrible light when he was posing just
True.
now, and he looked insane. So if James was under that, what was that gym called? Whatever that gym, that
Metroflex.
Pros gym.
no, the one in Columbus, the one that
Pros.
yeah. If James was under those lights, I think he would have looked even more impressive than Rafa, possibly.
Dude, Pros gym is like 2 or 3 blocks from the expo. I'm planning on training there when I go to the show, but dude, it's going to be so busy. I don't know if I want to do that.
Yeah, I don't know if that's worth it. Now, Samson. Okay, I wanted to take a look at this pic. I know this gym has terrible lighting, but that's a lot
The
of
worst.
filters. If that not a lot of filtering, the picture seems like crazy sharpened, right?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I wondered that because of the lighting, man. Because the lighting there, you see any video on the NPC website of anyone
horrible.
posing there, and they look horrible, like
They do.
so bad. They all have gone back 8 weeks of conditioning and 3 years of muscle.
I
Well,
think he put the sharpness because the lighting was so bad. But honestly, I don't like that much filters on like a 5 days out pic.
You know,
You
I
know?
don't know about what phone this was taken on, but like my phone, when I just take pictures of my physique, like if I video, it's different. But if I just take a picture, it does like this automatic image processing that really sharpens up a ton. And there's nothing I can
is
do.
that the HDR?
Maybe. I don't know. But it
Is it
like
iPhone?
no, it's an Android, it's a Pixel.
Oh,
It's got a good camera, but it just like it does image processing automatically, you know. It's kind of odd.
This picture is for sure filtered. So it's pretty
Yeah,
heavy.
whether it was him or the phone camera, like yeah, I could see it.
Yeah. But do you know what the truth is? None of it fucking matters. None of this shit matters. The fucking gym posing, none of this shit makes any difference. All that matters is who brings it on fucking stage come show day.
But
So
we
this is
need
just
something to talk about, so here we are.
I was going to say,
Exactly.
don't tell them that. Like we can't show more physique updates now.
Yeah.
no, because my thing is that you know whether it's filtered or not filtered or bad lighting, good lighting, until they're all under the exact same lighting, right? On that day, it's like you know.
I mean,
Because
this conditioning last year beat a really good Nick. So
yeah.
why,
So it's
why
like
are we worried? You know?
exactly. So there's really, I don't think Hadi or Samson have anything to worry about, if I'm being honest. Besides each other, I guess. You know, that's the only thing they got to worry about. Let's see.
Hardy's definitely going to be harder, but they're still going to give it to Samson, I feel like.
I agree.
Yeah. But see, he didn't say Samson's going to win. He said they're going to give it to Samson. You want
I
to
agree.
elaborate on that, Dave?
No, he is going to win. I have him first.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Hey, I feel like with the current criteria, I think so. And that's not a knock on Samson because I think we all love Samson's physique. We all love aesthetic physiques. You know, it just so happens that it was judged a bit different some time ago. And I think it's fine. I'm cool with it. I love it.
Yeah.
I love
Shut
it.
up.
Yeah.
I'm listen. I like the way he looks, but like I don't find that physique relatable at all.
I know
Like,
what you
he's a
mean.
giant Nigerian dude. There's nothing I could ever do under the sun to try to chase that look, you know. So I'm like, fuck me.
Take a but. Why do you think James is taking so much of that tan
No,
and
no,
shit?
Hey, it's Black History Month, dude.
Exactly. He's trying to be more relatable. If he can look a little bit more like Samson, he's gonna get that nod. They're gonna be like, "Oh, James,
Hey,
light skin."
I just started doing it too, man.
You gotta start, yeah.
Love February.
Do you
just
get
get dark
random
as hell.
erections?
What? Why do you care?
No, because I think it's a side effect.
So
It
I've
is,
heard. Yeah, it's none of your
Yeah.
damn business, Zay. Jeez.
When I tried it, I had to deal with that.
Thank you for sharing.
I had to deal with that.
Uh-huh.
Oh, and
I did it
you
before,
dealt with
actually.
it.
I did it last year, actually. I wasn't trying to get darker, but I was trying to block my appetite, and it worked to a bit.
Oh, yeah.
It
I
made
mean,
me a
it's hard
little,
to eat. It's hard to eat with that shit.
yeah. It made me a little nauseous, and it did give me some random boners, but it wasn't good boners. It wasn't like, yeah, let's go. It was kind of like, oh shit, that's weird. Let's
in public.
yeah. It was it was like a good thing. It's not like at the right perfect timing and shit. It's just random. You're doing cardio. I'm like, oh shit, what the fuck? Okay. I mean, it's not nice. So, all right.
Sneaks up on you.
Yeah, it does. Let's you guys want to get to the questions?
Yeah.
Sure.
We're trying to keep it under 2 hours, so we're gonna do like one question.
Yeah.
All right. Are steroids addictive?
Not in
Physically
classic
or
sense.
mentally?
Do you think it is in either way, in any way?
I think psychologically it could be effective. It could be addicting because you just enjoy this feeling whenever you're on it. But chemically speaking, maybe it's not, or I think it's not. But you get addicted to the feeling it gives you, for sure. I know guys, they run gear in their 60s and 70s.
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of them. I live in West Hollywood. I think a lot of bodybuilders get offended by that question, so they're quick to say, "No, it's not." Like any addict, right? Oh no, I could come off any time. Oh no, it's not like that. But if I'm just from the outside in watching, it seems like it really is, because I see from my clients or like random guys at the gym, it's very there's like a huge emotional connection to it. They can't coming off a cycle to some of these people is like coming off of meth. Like they act insane. Oh, I gotta hop back on. I want to hop back on. It's like, bro, it's been 3 weeks. It hasn't even left your system. The test E is still there, and you're talking about going back on cycle. So I would love to say for me myself, I have zero issue coming off and downsizing. I'm actually looking forward to it in some ways, but that's me having done this for some time and maybe being a little older than some of these people. But I think for a lot of people it can be addictive. For some people, not at all.
I think for very few people it's an addiction. Like for Boston Lloyd, I think it was an addiction. Like there's a few people like I know of, like I've heard of or know of, where I think, yeah, you could probably call it an addiction because they had serious health issues and then just didn't stop. Like whether that's like ego related or whether it's like addiction because they're addicted to being big. But there's no like immediate, it's not like a classic addiction where, you smoke weed or you do meth or you do coke or you do whatever and you get an immediate effect and you get addicted. You can get addicted to that feeling, but you can also get, literally addicted where you have withdrawals and stuff. So there's like different levels of addiction. Whether
there's like, technically speaking, weed doesn't have physical withdrawals, right? But you're going to feel weird if you're smoking 10 times a day and you stop. Same with steroids, not the same with meth or opiates. So like, technically speaking, it's not addictive, but like, I'll say I'm going to have to do some serious soul searching when the time comes to stop being a bodybuilder, 10 years from now, or maybe sooner, who knows? Cause like, it's your whole fucking identity, man, being the big guy. And, people, like, you receive a lot of, praise and positive feedback for it. So like being able to transition out of that, into like basically a whole different persona, a different purpose when you're done with this shit is I'm nervous about that. I'm probably gonna have to fucking do some mushrooms or something, figure it out. But
Dorian style.
Yeah, ayahuasca, whatever. And I'm not sure how I would deal with that if I was like dealt a card there that like forced me to stop.
Well, that's the difference, because I thought you meant like by the time you're 40. In my head, I'm like, by the time you're 40, you're gonna be like, wow, I get to hang out with my family and have a good time. But if it's like, let's say in 2 years, some shit happens,
Yeah.
that's gonna be
So
rough.
it'll be difficult if I do it in 10 years, when I'm done competing. It'll still be a transition, but like if it happened tomorrow, like boy, I don't think I'm yet ready for that mentally. Cause like this is my career now. This is my whole persona. Like there's a lot riding on this. So yeah, I would have to really, kill my ego somehow, get myself in check. And in that respect, it is addicting, like psychologically for sure.
It's easy to say, well, oh, Dallas, when he had that collapse, he should have just quit. It's like, are you serious? Well, he's 25 years old. He's just entering his bodybuilding. Like there was zero chance he was gonna quit. Like
And he had so many people watching him, and expectations were insanely high.
come on,
He
bro.
was under so much pressure, which is fucked up in retrospect. Like, I'm not going to say, we necessarily bear responsibility, but like we all wanted to see him kill
Yeah.
it, get to the Olympia, be up there. And,
There's zero chance that any of us would have just retired at 25 because of one incident. Like, nah, that wasn't gonna happen. Now, like for some of these guys that Zayda's talking about, like, a lot of them are in West Hollywood, they're like in their 60s and they're doing cycles because they want to be jacked and they can't get small. That's like, bro, come on, bro. You are a grown ass old elderly gentleman, bro. Stop it,
That's
bro.
gonna be you, man. I'm sure.
I
don't think I'd never be one of those guys, but like, I imagine getting older because like now I'm like 34 and it's not that old, but you start to get to be like, okay, 6 years goes like that. I'm 40, and then 10 years might feel like it goes really quick. And then I'm 50.
It will.
And you sort of talk to your parents about age and they're like, well, I'm like 60, whatever now. And they're like, it went really quick. And I'm like, holy shit. I don't even know where I was going with this story, but
honestly, I don't have an emotional connection with like my muscles like that. I really don't.
Oh, yeah.
I just don't feel I don't feel that way. Like I'm excited to get small and try new things, bro. Like I'm a meathead. I feel like I'm a true meathead, but that's it's not my identity. I feel like I'm just a lot deeper than that when it comes to, I don't know. I'm not saying it's gonna be like easy, but I have so many other things that I look forward to as well that I enjoy, that I would love to start, like doing athletic shit. I'm coming from an athletic body background as well. I would love to get back into boxing and MMA, and if my body can fucking handle it, I don't know, but if it can, I look forward to going, hanging out with family and not thinking about meals and having fun and going on vacation and staying for weeks, a fucking month in Thailand. That kind of shit is fun to me as well. I'm not gonna do it right now, but I'm looking forward to a day doing that. It's just a different way of looking at things. End of the day, yes, are muscles cool? I think so. I think people look at you a certain way. I know for myself, people respect me. Period. They respect me as the man. So muscles or not, I'm still gonna get the same respect. That's just how I personally feel. You know what I'm saying? So I think once you build your identity to that point, which I think all of you guys will, at 40, I think we're all gonna be very comfortable with ourselves. But I mean, if
so.
Stu,
Yeah, I mean, I'm not there yet. Like, I'm not. I guess I am a little ashamed to admit it, but like, it's the truth. Like, I'm not there yet. I have a lot of ego bound up in this endeavor here, and I do want to place well. I do want to continue to receive this respect because, like, it is because of the way that I look. It's not because of necessarily who I am.
Yes, it is.
Maybe it's a part of it, but like,
people love you.
In my head, that's not how I think about it.
Yeah.
I'll have to shift that eventually.
Yeah.
It's really hard to like identify like how you come across to other people because like Beatty and Zaid, like like Stu comes across super, charismatic. Like if you gave Stu like a camera crew to come out and film his shit all the time,
he
It'll
would
be
blow
great.
up. You just know you just know it 100%. But like I think like Luke Sando spoke about it, a whole bunch of other people spoke about it too, like that imposter syndrome. And you feel like, and Stu, I think you get that like in terms of competing as well. Like you're even just like a good video will wipe me because you see photos, but like you probably don't see what we see. And you even say like you take photos on your phone and they make you look better than you look. And I'm like, probably fucking not, man, by the way you looked on stage. So it's like you don't realize
I
how
guess
you are to other people.
my mentality hasn't changed since like 2 years ago when I was an amateur, which is good, I think. Like
I think so.
I mean, I don't think placing well at pro shows should and you know, turning pro and shit should like blow your head up all of a sudden. It's like there's always a bigger fish, you know. That's where I'm coming from. But yeah, there's I mean, call it imposter syndrome. Again, I don't believe it's hard to call it imposter syndrome like for myself because like I still don't believe that it's like legit, you know. Does that make sense?
I kind of see what you mean.
But yeah, maybe that's
Isn't that what imposter syndrome is? A little bit?
Yeah. Well, I think you're correct, but for me to sit here and say it's imposter syndrome would be to acknowledge that I'm not an imposter, which I believe I get.
I get what you mean. Yeah.
There's a balance. There's a lot of benefits for Stu being the way he is. I still would love if he was a bit more confident, but I don't think that works for everybody.
Listen, I explained this to Nick because Nick was harping on me for it. Like, I am confident in my ability to deliver my physique improved from last year, right? And that'll be, but like the judging, the who shows up, all that other stuff. Maybe I get fucking rhabdoed a week out. You know, I'm not going to sit here and be like, I'm ashamed and I feel like shit because something happened right out of my control.
Sure.
So I'm confident in my ability to perform, but not in my ability to control things out of my control. Does that make sense?
No, that makes perfect sense because
that's why I don't like predictions. I don't like placing myself in a lineup. You know, I play with the things in my head, but I don't. To say it out loud is, I mean, you look foolish if you're wrong.
Well, I think the thing is as well. Like, sorry, you go.
No, I was gonna say like Nick at Chicago, he did all his homework, brought his best, and he got fourth. I don't think he should have got fourth. Most people didn't think he should have got fourth, but that was out of his control because he's not a judge, right? Same with Stu. Stu gets fourth in Cal. I think everybody who watched the show was like, I don't think Stu should have been fourth. And Stu did his homework. He did his part, but it's not his control to judge the show. So I do agree in that point. Like you could be like, hey, I'm going to bring my best possible, but you're not going to say, I'm going to come and beat everybody because you don't really control that. Even when you do control it, as far as bringing your best and be in contention for the win, you can't really guarantee something that it's not your choice to make, right? I guess. So
yeah, which is why I want to give myself as many chances as I can this year to try and qualify. That's what I'm trying to do. Like a lot of shows.
Smart. And man, the thing is as well, like everyone's personality is different. So if you were going to a show and you have a mindset of like, I'm going to win, and you keep telling yourself that, and just say you pulled a tough lineup, you got fourth or fifth or whatever, or you came in off. It's like that could, to different people, that could be devastating to different levels.
Destroy your ego. It can. You're building up an unsafe level of ego there, which I don't want to do. Right. So again, like I'm just going to try and show up as good as I can, as many times as I can. And that's all. I think that's a better way to think about it.
Yeah. You can go down a rabbit hole because I know in the past it was always like, I'm going to win. But I started feeling like that took the fun out of it because I get so obsessed and I turn into a nutcase. Whereas I'm trying to be like, okay, I'm going to bring my best and I'm going to stand up there and show my best. And what happens is going to happen regardless. So that takes off the belief that I got to do something crazy and take a bunch of this drug or squat this much weight or do something that I shouldn't be doing just because I'm so hungry for this win to beat this guy, you know? So I think it made me a worse bodybuilder, me particularly, to be all about beating everybody else. I don't know if that makes sense. even though I still want to beat everybody else, and that's the goal. And I'm still gonna say like at least I don't really say it publicly, but in my head or to my friends, I'm gonna say I'm going to win, right? But that being said, I don't approach it that way in the prep. I'm not like eating my meals like I gotta beat this guy. It's more so like, ooh, I'm gonna kill this prep and I'm gonna show my best. That just makes me feel peaceful, positive, and happier. I become a really mean person if I'm always like, I gotta beat you, beat you, beat you. I don't like being that kind of person just because I don't know. I like to enjoy life still. I love competition, but I like to enjoy life, and I'm friends with all my competition, all my competitors. I've always been friends with my competitors. You know, some people don't like that. Some people say you can't be friends. Nobody's friends. You know, I mean, I am. I'm
Yeah,
friends with
but
my
most
competitors.
It's
most of the
bodybuilding,
people
man.
who say that shit like suck. You know, like
That's true. Yeah.
honestly, like all the open pros I've met are super cool and very friendly backstage, and because there's like barely any of us, you know. So if you start throwing shit in that little group, like it's not, you're gonna be the bad guy. You don't want to do that.
No.
Yeah.
Shit, I mean, I don't know how many people know it, but Tonio and Nick, they're friends. So all
Yeah.
of this is fun. It's all in good fun, right? So yes, you can do that. I mean, I will probably do the same thing if I'm going against my friend. I know with Janicki, I'll be like DMing him, like you know me. I'm always gonna say stupid shit. He's getting a massage. I'm like, yo, that guy's a hitman. I hired him. He's gonna take you out for the USA's. Just stupid shit like that. But he knows I'm fucking with him, so we don't post it like in comments, but same difference, you know. You're gonna fuck with, it's your boys. You're gonna fuck with them, you know. I would hope everybody could have fun that way, but it's never actually like coming from a bad place. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
Is he doing USA's again?
yes, he's gonna lose USA's. He told me he's gonna do it and lose to me.
That's good.
That's nice of him.
Nah, he didn't say that, but I'm saying that. All right. Oh, the question was, are steroids addictive? We said technically no, but if you're 60 and doing steroids, maybe.
Look inward.
it isn't technically, but that's up for debate.
Are women addictive? I mean, technically no, but
kind of.
boy, they can ruin your fucking life.
Because if women weren't addicted, we could just be like, you know what? I'm just gonna stay single. Fuck it. I can't deal with this shit. But none of us can seem to get ourselves to do that, right? So the kind of addictive, you know. All right. Do you have bodybuilding groupies? Probably gay guys, weird old gay guys.
Yeah. Some of the gays
back in the
cool,
day,
though.
man.
But,
Some of them. There's a select few.
yeah.
Man, back in the day, the days of Facebook before Instagram was a thing, before like OnlyFans was a thing. Man, I don't know if it was just Australia, but me and my friends, we used to get weekly, if not 3-4 a week, like sort of thing on Facebook DMs, like guys saying, "Can you send me your posing trunks?" And I would just refer them to my friends. I would just be like,
nice
I'm not into it, but my friend Aaron, here's his Facebook. He might be interested. And I just told this on Lee Priest's podcast, and and he sent me I think it was him or someone else sent me a screenshot back and saying like, your friend Xavier said you might be interested in doing this, and I'm just like, got him, you motherfucker.
Shit, if he pays, do it, bro.
He asked for soiled posing pants. I don't know how to.
Not soiled.
Got
not
bills to pay,
ones.
man.
Lee Priest said, just a little skin mark. I'm like, it's like a signature. Like that's a signature.
Come on. But do you think bodybuilders actually have groupies? I think to some extent. I think
yes.
if you're a popular person in any sport, the girls in that sport are gonna maybe look up to you in some way or feel like they're cool by attaching themselves to you.
It's literally just like a social status thing, like in any kind of hierarchy, including bodybuilding and fitness. Like if you're some hotshot bodybuilder, there's going to be people who are drawn to that, just because we've established this hierarchy. So it's what humans are like. but again, it's mostly gay guys. So,
Yes.
you know, tread carefully. There are some cool
Right.
gays out there though. Like there's some funny ones. They're good sports about it. Like
Shit, I feel like some of us are so like awkward when it comes to that kind of shit. Like a girl could be flirting with us, and we're like, "Huh? Who? Me? Are you talking to him? Me?" Like we don't even know what the fuck is going on. We're like, "Okay, I don't know if she's fucking flirting or she really wants me to spot her. You know what the fuck is going on?" Sometimes, you know, because we don't see ourselves like attractive guy, like the guys that the girls go for. You know what I'm saying? We just meatheads. You know what I'm saying? But if you go to the right gyms, if you're a popular bodybuilder, I'm sure you can get some play.
I always wondered what, like, you know how there are like groupie girls, like there are girls that are in the industry that's like their life. And they are into it and they follow every pro bodybuilder. Like you notice it, and I always wonder what sort of messages they get, considering they're like following every pro bodybuilder, liking heaps of their photos. I'm like, are they sliding in the pro bodybuilders DMs? Because I'm sure they probably are at some stage.
Some of them
I don't
do,
know.
yeah.
Definitely.
I'm sure.
not mine.
You got some.
Fine.
You got some fans too. I've seen some fans in the YouTube comments. You got some fans.
Oh right.
But like I said, I feel like some of us we don't get it, and we're kind of like, what do you want? Like, what the fuck are you? What do you really want? Like, what do you?
Yeah, well, I mean, you got to keep in mind, like, if they're groupie girls, like, they're still females, right? So they're not going to be direct with nothing.
Yeah.
So I guess that makes it easy to slough them off, which is good.
All right. Does running higher master on lower test bring a drier look to stage? Possibly, I can.
Yeah, maybe. Everyone seems to be on the fucking master on bandwagon nowadays, taking like 1.5 grams of mast and like 200 mgs a test. I've seen so many people talking about this. It's like the new trendy thing.
Mhm.
I know Broderick Chavez.
Oh boy.
Or whatever
Yeah.
it is.
Oh
He's
boy.
like massive on Masteron, and I think like things leak out from there, and then everyone's like, Masteron is the key. We must do all the Masteron.
Yeah, well, I mean, John Jewett has a member site. I'm not part of it, but you know, some acquaintances are, and like he was on like shitloads of Masteron and really low dose test for a lot of his off season, I think.
Off
Don't call me
season
up.
It worked.
Yes, off season. Yeah. Like 1.5 grams or like something like that of Masteron. And you know, he stayed super lean regardless.
bald,
right?
too.
He's
Yeah,
been
of
bald
course
for a
he's
while,
bald.
right? Keep that in mind, guys, before you go Masteron maxing. I don't know, man. It seems to be working for him. I think
It is, yeah.
I don't see any reason to reinvent the wheel because like the stuff that I do works pretty good for me. I am curious about it. Like I almost want to try it myself, but again, like I don't want to lose this. This is kind of a part of the brand.
Trademark.
So
I don't think I've ever done master on off season ever before.
Me neither. Or
it's
Trent.
it's a very like low side effect drug, and part of the new obsession with it is because you know it helps reduce SHBG and in turn reduce aromatization. So you don't have to use aromatase inhibitors in your off season when you're taking a shitload of Masteron, which is potentially good, but again, like shitloads of DHT drugs aren't the best for your cholesterol. And if you're trying to help your cholesterol by avoiding aromatase inhibitors, taking a shitload of Masteron might have the same effect, you know? So I don't know, man. I'm not a fan of the idea personally. You know, it seems a little gimmicky to me. I am curious about it, so I can't really bash it until I try it, but I'm not going to fucking try it. So
Yeah, I can't. Don't DHT derivative drugs enlarge the prostate? Is that a side
definitely,
effect?
yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't know. When it comes to the high Masteron, it depends how high we're talking. I think really high tests, super close to the show. We're talking about like 2 weeks out, a week out, that can hold water. Not for everybody. Some people blast test all the way till show day and look great.
Yep.
You know, but taking crazy amounts of mass, I've never seen much benefit from like going super high in mass, just a little bit of mass, 300 to like 500 maybe, I don't know. Um it's working for John. It's working for John though. So I think he should keep doing what he's doing, but when it comes to everybody else, I feel like Test is king personally. Off season, I feel like Test is king. Pre-contest, don't overdo the test, or maybe come off a little before the show, something like that.
Just be wary of people trying to reinvent the wheel so they can sell you something. Big picture.
Yeah.
All right. Good advice, too. Okay. For the next 5 years, would you rather give up bodybuilding / training or sex / relationships?
That's a deep one.
Well,
Shoot, that's rough on you, man.
Yeah, because if your bodybuilding is your career, like Stu, then that would mean giving up your livelihood. Why you can't really give up your livelihood? I guess you can get another job, but that makes it tougher, a lot tougher to answer.
Stu, if you have to give up bodybuilding, you might get addicted to meth and then lose your partner as well. So
Yeah, that's a good point. However, this is fucked up because you're putting me in a position here where I would have to say I'm giving up my girlfriend, and if she hears this,
so
you're
so
dead.
so
I was trying to give you the other side, man.
let me say it like this then, because he said / so instead of body, but say training or sex. So leave the relationships out of it.
Yeah, that's
Just
better.
training or sex.
Training all day, bro.
You give up training?
No, I'll give up sex.
Alright.
Yeah, for training.
Forever, bro? Oh, I mean, can you jerk off? You could beat off.
Wasn't it for 5 years?
See?
It wasn't sex forever. It was 5 years.
5 years. Oh, okay. 5 years. You
That's
got some
a
porn.
dry spell, man.
You got some porn. I mean, there's men out here who haven't had sex for 5 years just cause. You know,
it's rough out there, man.
Yeah,
just get super zen with it. Focus
yeah,
on other things.
Yeah,
Love that episode of Seinfeld with George Costanza. He gets really smart because he stops having sex.
yeah. Yo, you know what the best thing you can do with your life as a man? Stop watching porn. That's one of the.
You're so right, dude.
That's one of the best things you can do in your life, bro. You feel enlightened, like you feel like you've been on a ayahuasca retreat. You've spoken to therapists, bro. This shit is mind opening, bro. The world is such a beautiful place when you stop watching porn, bro. Trust me, it sounds weird, but Stu knows. Stu knows what I'm talking about. Just stop it, cold turkey. Your life will change. Trust me. I don't even want to explain why, but just take my word on this, gentlemen.
Because we take up 2 hours a day.
Generally not a good thing to consume a lot of.
No. And then everything else
desensitizes you, man.
I was just gonna say that everything else feels better, not just sexually, even like your girl touching you like this. If you're not watching porn, you're like, oh shit, okay. If you've been watching porn, you won't even feel it. You'll be like, oh, what are you doing?
The thing is, like you just like it gives you masturbating gives you like a dopamine hit, right? So like a lot of sad, depressed people just do that, and that's how they get addicted to it, which is a real slippery slope, man. Talk about addictions. That's one of them for sure.
Oh, it is.
Porn, yeah.
I think whether it be a porn, right? You could say porn addiction.
Porn,
I think that's part
like masturbation or even sex, if you can actually get laid.
Yeah.
But when you go back to the real world and you're not staring at a screen, it's like you're gonna be disappointed, and it's really gonna fuck with you. Fortunately, this has never happened to me. Like I was never an addict or anything, but like you fucking goons out there, you should not be like that. It's not good for you.
What's considered a porn addict? I mean, I think we've all had points in our lives where we was probably watching porn daily. Is that considered an addict? Even if it's, let's say, if a 1 month span, it wasn't it's not gonna be like a year straight. Let's say 1 month span, you jerk off every day for a month. Is that addiction? I think so. I think that's addiction. No,
Like I'm a recovering addict then, man. I mean,
Yeah.
everyone's done that.
I mean, if you were drinking every single day,
that might be
that
addiction.
would be, yeah. I bet. I think addiction. One of the parts there is like, can you stop? And I
I
think
feel
I
like I
could
could have
stop.
stopped. I could have stopped.
I
But
don't know.
it's easy and it's there, and you kind of rationalize like, oh, it's not really affecting my life in any way, like any addict would. And but if you told them they had to stop, they went camping for a week and they didn't have any magazines to go with them. Like, would they get all weird about it?
Yeah, I mean, if the other time, if I was on enough tests or some trend, it didn't matter how much actual sex I got, I would still watch porn. I think most men are like that. I mean, if you're getting laid, doesn't mean you stop watching porn for the most part, unless you make the conscious choice.
I stopped completely.
That's what I'm saying.
Because again, it's just like it negatively impacts my relationship, and also, a little too TMI, but like it negatively impacts my sex life with my girlfriend.
Us, 100%.
It's
yeah.
and I think it's also kind of disrespectful to some extent.
Well,
Depends.
I feel like
Shit,
guys.
Instagram is soft porn. So if that, by that sense, we should ban Instagram
And
too.
you know what? She don't like me liking girls' pictures either. So.
guys get a little flustered when people say that, right? Like what you just said, right? Like, is it disrespectful to your girl in any way? Now that's watching porn once in a blue moon is one thing, or when she's out of town. But if your girl is right there in the next room and you're beating off repeatedly all day, that is disrespectful. If you think about it, imagine you're home and you open the door and your girl is in there fucking masturbating. Oh, you're gonna be like, I'm right there. You didn't want to come have sex?
Yeah, it makes you feel
good.
Inadequate. Like
That's kinda,
whatever's on the computer is better than what's right in front of you. But it is disrespectful. And even like, how long are you gone for? A week? If you're on a business trip or something, like you can't go a week without busting a nut, dude. Jesus Christ. Have her send you some pictures.
See, that would be the better option. Yo, you just don't want to go down that slope, man. It's just not the same. And like, it feels so much better when you don't watch porn. It feels like the best sex you've ever had in your life just from not watching porn. You know what I'm saying?
If you're in a relationship where like sex is being withheld or it just doesn't happen as much as you like it, and you start like watching porn to make up for that and masturbating, like it's a slippery slope, dude.
Don't do that.
The hard thing with relationships, man, it's like, especially like you guys that are on test and stuff, or been on test, whatever, and it's like you are way more horny, and then if you're like, okay, I'm not going to masturbate in the day, girls coming home from work, they come home from work and be like, oh, I've got a headache, I'm so tired. You're like, but I've held on.
Do it anyways. Just do it anyways. Just grab her. No, don't do that.
If you're taking tests, you got room for two.
Oh God.
One in the day and one at night. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
But you don't feel like you fully ruin it, and you're like, well, it's getting a little bit late in the day, isn't it? So I'm going to have a 5-hour refractory period, which is, it's fine. It'll work, but it's not going to be like
Xavier.
There's no saying no. In my household, there's no no's. When it's game time, it's game time, baby. You gotta
means yes.
You gotta get going.
Send a message, baby, right?
You gotta send a message. Yeah.
I'll watch that shit back. That's so funny, man.
Come on. Stop playing. You gotta send a message. Hey, I feel like if she's saying no, you gotta make sure next time she's not gonna say no again. Teach her some manners. Oh man. I hope girls don't really watch this.
All three of
them,
obviously watch it.
Yeah, they're like 3, maybe 4 max. They watch it.
The groupies, which we've offended. So
yeah, fuck them.
They're not offended, bro. They love to be dominated. You know that.
Hey,
Simmer down, buddy.
It's true, bro.
You're a light heavyweight. Chill.
I used to be, bro.
Not anymore. Not anymore. All right, let's see. Get Stu going on guys who claim 300 milligrams of test.
He's talking
You got
about
some-
Ross.
I was about to say, I'm like, I saw someone
Yeah.
the other day.
I don't know, man. Ross has been doing this for like over a decade now.
Wait. I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Read the question in its entirety, please.
Get Stu going on these guys who claim 300 milligrams of test, knowing that they're lying. Wait, does Ross take 300 milligrams regularly?
Ross put up a post recently saying, with a picture of his physique and stuff, he looked good. And he was like, this is what 300 milligrams test looks like. He's always like on a cruise or like basically a cruise,
Beatty, pull it up.
Yeah, find his profile. To the person sending the question, you don't know what the fuck he's taking, and neither do I. So shut up. And he's been doing this for so fucking long. He's so like, if you know Ross, he's neurotic as fuck with his diet. He trains really hard. He's got a lot of muscle. Okay. So no, I'm not going to sit here and call him a liar. Maybe.
Wait. But he didn't say that's the most he's ever taken, though.
Yeah. So like,
Yeah.
maybe he's been cruising for 4 or 5 weeks, and that's his look on 300 makes a test. So
then
you
it makes
don't
no
completely disappear in a month after a cycle. Shocker,
Man, I usually gain weight when I go on to fucking TRT. I gain fat, but I don't lose. I'm not losing anything. So, are you supposed to? Is he supposed to look like? What is he supposed to look like when he goes down to 300? You look the same. I've seen Stu on in his
pull
cruise. He looks the same.
Yeah, pull up the pictures that I put up like a week or two ago.
I can't.
That was 5 weeks into. Oh yeah, you're strange fuck.
Today.
That was 5 weeks into a cruise. I'm still 280, 282 or something. I don't look like I'm not a bodybuilder anymore. Like, yeah, the pop, some of the pop is gone. I notice it a lot more than other people probably do because I'm overanalyzing. But like, yeah, you'd be surprised, man. So shut up, whoever asked the question.
What would Ross get out of coming online to say that just to make it up? It's like, and also he didn't say anything else. What if you're on 300 milligrams of test, but you're on 1500 master on like John Jewett? Okay,
I don't know.
That's
That's not. I don't think that's.
It's not.
If he's doing that post is so misleading.
I'm just making an example. The fact that
Yeah.
people act like they know what you're doing, right? So it's like I know what you're doing, but you're not telling the truth. Even if I have reason to believe you're not telling the truth, I'm never gonna tell you that because I'm never gonna say it because I don't know. So it doesn't really matter, you know.
And just so you guys know, like at a high level in this sport, we're not worried about whether people are taking. We're worried about what we're gonna do to try and perform our best. I don't give a shit if he's on 300 milligrams or 3,000. It doesn't affect me in the least. So if you're trying to find some copium excuse about like why you look like shit when you're taking 10 times as much, then good for you. It's not going to make you any better. So fuck off, frankly.
No.
You got me going on that. To whoever,
Yeah, I was gonna say what?
whoever asked that question, you're a queer, whatever.
The way I look
you
at
find
it,
out it's your girlfriend.
the way I look at it, like Stu said, it really makes no difference. Nobody gets extra points for taking less or more, and nobody really cares. I don't know. Does anybody care what anybody else is doing, or it's not really that interesting?
I'm kind of curious sometimes, like especially in like other parts of the world. What are the English guys doing? What are the Russians doing? Just because it's usually different from what we do.
Yeah. You want to,
but not because I want to try it.
Yeah.
I've heard some protocols from over in the Middle East being very, 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 very oral heavy.
Spicy.
Scary.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Would you guys respect me more if I told you I've never done more than 2 IUs of growth? Look at me, look.
We just went silent.
I
You
would.
guys respect?
I don't care what you take.
Yeah, no.
That's exactly my point. So when people get into conversations about this, I'm like, do you really think Ian takes 500 tests? I'm like, I don't think about it at all. I mean, I don't know what you want me to say.
Exactly. I don't think
no.
about you at all. I mean,
He's gonna beat me on stage, so it's kind of irrelevant what the fuck he's doing. You know, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure.
The thing is, fans care, man. Like fans care. Like
They
that's
do.
why
They
Greg
do.
Doucette's made money. That's why like a lot
That's
of
true.
these
God.
YouTubers have made coin, man. Like the Natty or Nots, like Derek from More Plates, More Dates. Like he gave a lot of really good information with the whole speculating what people are taking sort of thing. But it's like he had to use that as the hook to get people in. Be like, what's the Rock taking? Then now let me tell you about PEDs. You know, so it's like people give a shit. Like it's people want to hear that sort of speculation.
Nobody good gives a shit. How about that?
Exactly. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I literally could care less.
You got to ask yourself.
Other than to scratch my curious itch, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you when Compton was on, I was like, did Hani ever tell you what Phil Heath was taking? Like that's not for that's for entertainment. It's like I would be interested to see where his genetic threshold was at, just out of curiosity, right? But I think like, why do people, bash people for talking about their cycles and it's not as high as they would like it to be? But then when it is high as they like it to be, they tell you you're gonna die. So
listen, dude, there's a whole generation of like 18 to 22-year-olds right now on TikTok who are spewing shit about drugs. They're under 200 pounds. I'm sure some names are coming to mind if any of you guys have seen these fucks. And, it gets a lot of clicks. It gets a lot of views, it gets a lot of followers. It hits that algorithm real good. But basically, these people are on all these kids. They're kids. They're on all these drugs. They look like shit because, you look at their profile, they're never posting about their training or their diet. There is literally none of that. So fixated on that, and, they don't make any progress. And then it encourages other young people who also have barely started training to go and do that stuff. And then, kind of cope when they're like, they don't get any results. Because like I took all these gear and like, oh, it must be my genetics, when like they were doing anything else right. They're getting a quick pump and eating Pop-Tarts after the gym. So it's such a fucking virulent thing that gets into these kids' heads. And, unfortunately it comes back on us because now they think they know shit about drugs and how they work and how they affect people, how they make you look. They start speculating and talking out their ass. And like, dude, you don't know shit. You're 19. Just quiet,
So this is kind of like in a similar breath, right? Why do we respect people for having good genetics if they did nothing to earn that besides being born by their parents? Why is that like, wow, look at this person. Wow, you're so great. You have great genetics. Shouldn't we
Respect people more who have horrible genetics and happen to bypass it, right? It's like,
how do you measure it though? How do you measure it unless you just know, like in a Flex Wheeler and a Paul Dillette case, we hear stories, but
to go back to the steroid thing, right? It's like people feel like you should be, okay, well, I'm natty and I look this good, or I'm only doing 300 and I look this good. It's like, why should that get any respect from anybody? That just means you have crazy genetics or you're a hyper responder. Why is that like a feather in your cap? Because you were born better in that way. You didn't do anything. You were literally just born, right? So why is it a feather in your cap for being born away? Shouldn't it be more so what you achieve?
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, all that matters is what you look like and what you look like on stage, right? But I don't look up to guys, bodybuilders who are really genetically gifted. My favorite bodybuilders out there are like Branch Warren, Jordan Peters, that dude's a fucking fridge. He does not have good shape. He does not have even really good muscle building genetics. He has forced himself there, but just with sheer willpower,
You got my
I like
respect.
Dusty Hanshaw. I like Evan Centopani. And a lot of these guys have decent or pretty damn good genetics, but like, I'm not going to, like I said earlier, I can't relate to a Samson, because he's just
Yeah.
a beautiful black dude. It's just not even in the realm of possibility. And there's nothing against him for that. It's just, I admire the guys who have had to overcome those shortcomings
Me
more.
too.
Even if you have really good genetics, and you might say that I have really good genetics, I want to bodybuild like I'm shaped like a fridge,
Smart.
because
That's how
it's
you
going to
do it.
make you, like, if you get in your head like, oh, I can get away with this, I can be less conditioned, I can be smaller because I've got a good
Mhm.
shape or muscle bellies, like that'll sabotage you, man. Like you'll be
Yeah.
like, where can I cut corners and get away with it? And it's
Yeah.
not good.
You guys know DK Metcalf, the football player?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So
Dude,
that's
Jack.
that's an example. People were praising him because he's sitting there. He's like, "Oh yeah, I wake up, I have some Twizzlers, a couple candy." Like he's showing how hard his lack of work and all genetics. And it's like, wow, this guy is so great because his genetics are so great. But it's like, does that make you great because you were born a fucking superhero and you can get away with everything? Or maybe you got more respect for that guy who busted his ass, barely made the NFL, and becomes a Super Bowl champion. That's the guy I respect, because being born better than people doesn't necessarily, it's not really a feather in your cap. You got lucky. It's luck though, So I'm not, you don't earn my respect because you get to eat Twizzlers and be shredded and jump fucking 60 inches, right? I mean, in some ways you kind of get my respect because you're kind of killing it.
Yeah, it's just like an incredible thing to see, right? So that's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
But like,
Yeah.
again, I'm not looking up to that necessarily. I mean, literally, I would be physically looking up to him because he's a giant dude. But
Yeah, it's like Kobe and Jordan have a different level of respect because Kobe's first season averaged like 8 points, right? Coming from high school, and he willed himself and busted his ass to get to that point. Whereas, as good as LeBron is, he's 6'8", 270, right? He's kind of like he was born a specimen, and kind of just, he's banking more on his gifts than him busting his ass and growing his range and becoming a perfect 3-point shooter. Kobe wasn't a good shooter when he came into the league, but he became one of the best shooters.
LeBron busts his ass, so man, he spends
I
like
don't-
over $1 million a year on his
I don't-
body. Like,
I don't know enough
Yeah, but-
about basketball to say
It's the
anything.
same. but
I
that's
call my
money
dog
though.
LeBron.
But that's money though. Kobe didn't have to spend a million some dollars. He just went to the fucking gym and shot
Kobe
until
is
he
the
was a
most
better
hardcore.
shooter.
Yeah.
That's
He's the
what I'm
most
saying.
hardcore. He was always first in the gym, last out. Like you hear those stories. I think Patrick Bet David, there's a story on when he interviewed him, and or maybe he was telling him a story or something, but it was basically like he said, "Yeah, I'll go out with you guys or whatever," because he was pissed off with the culture of the Lakers. And he's like, "Yeah, I'll go out with you," but he's like, "But you got to come with me in the morning, 6 a.m. or 5 a.m. or whatever it is. But I'll come out with you. Like I'll come out. I won't drink, but I'll come out." And I think he even went out, and I think Kobe had a drink, and it was like a couple of hours later, he's like banging on their door, and he's like, I came out with you. He's like, you fucking come with me, like, and they're just dragging ass like through that like morning workout, and then we've got to play that night. But he's just like that crazy that every time he go to a different city, he would always go straight to the gym, like even if he's got a game the next night, like he just had that shit, like where other people don't.
That's what I respect, right? Listen, Kobe, if his team is not in the playoffs and they're winning a game, blowing out a team, everybody's jumping, and you see Kobe sitting down like this, like, sit the fuck down. We're not even in the playoffs. What the fuck are you celebrating, right? I remember when LeBron's team wasn't in the playoffs a couple years ago, or at the time they weren't, and then he beats the scoring record, and he's out partying. He misses like 2-3 games partying, and I'm like, bro, your team is not even in the playoffs, and you're partying about a record, which is a fucking phenomenal record. But there's zero chance Kobe and Jordan are partying with their teams outside the playoffs. They're in the gym like, yo, get your asses the fuck up. Let's go win a championship. So, there's a different level of work ethic versus genetics that I think should count more than just being a specimen, if I'm being honest. I don't know. That's just my opinion. You know, I've seen how hard Zayd worked to get his card, and I respect that way more than that guy who beat him 3 years ago after doing one show. But that's just my opinion.
It's been a road, bro.
Yeah, man. All right, I don't know how we got there. All right, one more. It's getting late, and I gotta call Geico. I was in a car accident yesterday. Believe it or not.
Oh,
shit.
You okay?
It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad at all. It was my fault. I had. Well, no, actually, it wasn't my fault at all.
Cut that.
Yeah, it was not my fault at all. This crazy motherfucker just did something crazy.
Ran into you.
Yeah, he ran into me. I don't know what the fuck. The guy must have been. He must have been drunk. I'm not gonna. I'm not making no.
Real talk. Cut that shit out. Totally.
Yeah.
Cut that part out.
All right. Yeah, they like to investigate. They got money. Motherfuckers got money over there. Geico. For the next 5 is still on. Can you tell us the? Can you tell us the best bodybuilding advice you've ever been given, and if you can remember from whom?
It's an on the spot question.
Nick gives me a lot of bodybuilding advice.
Unsolicited.
Okay, let's say what's the best bodybuilding advice you would give to somebody then? Because I can't think of advice I've gotten.
I think especially for early on people, like newer competitors, conditioning wins shows. Especially at the amateur level. Pros, it's a little different. There's more things at play there, but if you haven't gotten peeled before at the local level or even at the national level, you just need to do that, or you have no place competing. If you've done a couple of shows and you haven't quite nailed it yet, you just need to nail it that one time. If you've never been peeled, you shouldn't go to nationals, in my opinion.
I agree. Yeah,
you just don't have a place there.
I think that's it. If you can't figure out a way to get peeled, don't. But people have one not being super peeled, but you got to be peeled enough. I'll say I don't think you should consider even doing nationals.
For 97% of your typical bodybuilders, a lot of the guys who did nationals this year, right? It was a really big show and pretty shallow as far as depth went, right? The first call out in each one of those classes, for the most part, no, they weren't actually.
Oh, I thought you were
usually the first call out at any national show, it's been less so the last few years. Usually they're all in really good condition, right? This year that wasn't the case. And then go back further and it's even less the case. They got soggy glutes, man. Their hamstrings aren't in, their lower backs aren't in. It's you shouldn't be up there, bro. Sorry. So figure that out before you go and spend thousands of dollars on another trip to nationals.
I agree. Now, if you're Carlos and you're a fucking freak of nature, just show up, get your
2-3%, yeah, don't matter.
You can just show up and just get you can show up and win any show you want, but that's not you. That's probably not going to be you. So get peeled, get peeled before even doing the nationals. I would have to say that. But I gotta save myself a lot of money waiting until I got peeled before.
I didn't want to say it, but yeah.
I mean, hey, listen, you can say anything you want on this podcast.
Trial and error, bro. Trial and error.
Let's go, Zayd. A lot more error than trial.
That's how it goes.
Well, it's your time's coming this year, man. You just gotta win it,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I have a specific advice that I was given that changed my life in any particular way, especially my bodybuilding career. But to be honest, I did have some good advice. One of my good friends, Pete, he told me to go hire Doug Fouché for some extra workouts the last 2 years. And since I've done that, my density has jumped to the next level. So that definitely helped my physique out a lot. I literally didn't know Douglas. I just showed up to Venice. I asked to hire him, and I bought a few sessions with him, and then we got started from there. That was really good advice because literally a year later, I turned pro. And of course, I'm not saying he's the only factor, but I'm just saying he helped a lot with the posing and showing the density and put on a few pounds of dense muscle, you know, which is kind of weird, bro, because I've weighed the same for the last 3 USAs I've done, but my density got better each time around at the
Yeah, a
same
lot
weight.
better.
So I grew muscle, but I stayed the same weight, you know?
I mean, you looked a lot bigger last year than you
Yeah.
have any other year, you know. So for sure,
Yeah.
but it takes a lot of what's the word? You got to be very mature to do what you did, because most of us bodybuilders, we don't feel comfortable letting anybody train us because we're like, I know what the fuck I'm doing. But the truth is that you could always train better. Not even that you need to train harder. Sometimes you need to train better, you know.
Yeah.
And some people do need to train harder, you know. But
Yeah.
like, I know that if I was maybe training with somebody more mature than me 5 years ago, I would have had better sessions because I wouldn't be gripping and ripping a bunch of weight that I shouldn't be gripping and ripping, you know.
I
Just
think
because you train hard.
bigger picture though, like a lot of people do need to train harder. Like if you're not there yet, if you think you train hard, you need to like make sure you're surrounding yourself with people who actually get after it. And that might be pretty
Yeah.
hard to find, man. You know, you might have to travel to a different gym, try to train with some motherfuckers who know what they're doing. I was lucky when I was in college, I got to train with some power lifters, and they went balls to the wall, dude. And there would be like 4 or 5 of us in there swinging through a squat rack, rotating on Sundays, and it was like you just fucking squatted, and it was super hard. And like that taught me how to do that. You know, not everybody is able to do that right off the bat. You know, I was pretty good at it, but like you might not be.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. And one other thing he helped me out with, dude, I stopped being scared from fucking big ass guys. Because, dude, no one's bigger than fucking Doug. He's about 320. So this is the first guy. So I stood next to him and posed next to him to feel what it feels like posing next to someone who's a lot bigger than you. You know, so he finally helped me out with that like barrier, because I'm always not the biggest guy, so I have to pose next to the biggest guys. So standing next to him, learning how to pose next to him, like I'm not afraid to pose next to anyone, bro. Especially in my legs. Now I would have to bring up my upper body, but
Zaid,
yeah.
in 2025 when you're on stage, let me know what show you're doing, okay? I'll strike that fear back into you.
You can't. You can't.
You'd be shaking.
Bro,
like
no way. No way.
Well,
no way, dude. You know what? That resonates with the other question they were asking. I'm the type of bodybuilder. I have certain guys that I put up there, and I try to like match up with them. So this helps me to know that I move to the next level. Because if you beat a certain guy, you're gonna be in a different bracket. You know. So I try sometimes when I feel like maybe I'm not gonna win the show. Maybe I'll tell myself I'm gonna win over this dude. And that's what all the way through the USAs, that's what I was thinking about Joe. I knew if I beat Joe, I'm going to win the whole thing. I knew I wasn't looking at anybody else except Joe because he's the best. I know.
Yeah, you know who that was for my USAs? Fucking Brandon Barrow. Dude, he was like, I was thinking about him a lot that first year.
That was a good look. That was a good look by him, though.
It was really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, by the way, Stu, I might do the show in 26, not 25. So
26? Okay. Yeah, well, if you keep on going at the rate you're going, it will be a few years before you go on stage. But we've talked about that.
No.
I want to grow. I want to make sure the size is there before I spend a lot of money to get prepped. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's all.
That's smart. That's smart. Yeah.
Yeah. In that overall lineup, though, Zay didn't look undersized at all.
No. No,
you wouldn't be. No, you wouldn't be.
And let me tell you, Joe didn't win all the shots, bro. I promise you, he didn't win all the shots. He won most
shots
of them.
fired. Joe,
get
back on.
Get on the pocket. He didn't
Joe's
win that.
Been MIA.
Abs and thighs, he didn't win that. Front double, he didn't win that. He won the side chest.
You're right.
Definitely.
You're right.
Most muscular, he didn't win that too. No way. When you have sweepy quads and a small waist, you're gonna dominate a lot of the front shots. You know what I mean? Especially when you're dry and symmetrical. And that's just my opinion. And honestly,
Yeah.
dude, like I really feel I beat him in a couple shots, but he beat me majority of the shots. Plus, like for the USA, they like a bigger guy to win the title. I really think so.
Of
You know?
course,
And this
yeah,
will never
of
happen
course.
again, bro. I promised myself this will never happen again.
Well, if you're competing in 26, I mean, you can't run forever, man. Don't make it 27, 28. Get the shit over with,
No.
okay?
No. I promise you I'll show up. I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
I'm not scared to lose at all. It makes me better. And
That's good.
whoever wins over
That's
me,
good.
then he has my respect, you know? I'm okay. I'm a very good loser, you know?
No, don't say that.
No, because
I'm
it
a
makes
good
me
loser
better
too,
than for
Zane.
next time.
Gracious.
Yeah, dude.
Gracious
you will,
loser.
you will lose a lot more than you will win.
Yeah,
you
you're
have
right.
to be a gracious loser to be a good champion one day. It's just how it goes, bro. Best legends in the world, they lost so many times. Jay and Phil and all these dudes, you know. So why you think it's a bad thing? It's not a bad thing.
No.
You know?
I got the best losing face ever. I'll put on that fake smile. I'm like, I just the biggest fake smile. I'm just a fucking, you know. You gotta.
Hey, you gotta be gracious. You know, you gotta be gracious.
Yeah.
Stu is just like this on stage. He's like this.
I gotta fix that. Like
Didn't
honestly,
Steve tell you to smile?
Yeah, smile.
Bro, literally, there's a story here. So like I was after the USA's, like he came over and chatted with me real briefly. He was like, "Oh, you look good." I was like, "I probably need to smile more." He's like, "That don't matter." Those were his exact words. That don't matter. I was just joking around, right? So, and then he told me to do New York. I show up in New York, I get a second there. And the whole fucking time, like when I was up there, Jim Manion's next to me. He's like, smile. You need to smile. So I smiled, you know, it's Jim Manion telling you to smile. And then I got off stage. I was talking to Steve briefly, just asking for his input. And then as I was walking away, he was like, he told me to smile again. And so it was like, okay, this is a little different from what I heard last year, but
you better start smiling.
Because in California, I was not smiling at all. And I'm just gonna fake it, man. Oh well.
You're gonna have to.
It's not like I'm not enjoying it. It's just that's what my face looks like when I'm just sitting there. And I have like RBF, resting bitch face real bad.
Mm-hmm. Do you think you were concentrating more? Because like when you pulled into a few shots, like it wasn't that you were not smiling. It's that a few times it looked like you didn't want to be there. You know what I mean? Because you pulled up into a shot and you're like, you look real serious. And I'm like, Martin did it at the Arnold in the UK. Yeah. So it's like he just lost all confidence at that show, and he came out and he just had the real serious, like I'm thinking look on my face sort of thing, and just real serious. And Nick at Texas, he was the opposite. You know?
Yeah, Nick told me, I think this was off air, but Nick told me like they want you to look like you've already won the show, which is good advice.
Yep.
You know, you gotta look confident and smile and like, you know, be happy to be there. And I am happy to be there. Like I love competing, but I guess that's just what my face does when I'm posing. So I'm gonna focus on that.
Yeah, I have to force it too. It's awkward.
In men's physique, that's not optional.
Oh my god, I don't smile with my teeth, man. So I'm just like,
Lord,
not that bad, but
you can only get
when you open your eyes. Sorry,
I feel like you can only get away with not smiling if like your resting face looks pleasant. You know, then maybe you can like, because like Bumstead. Oh no offense. like Bumstead doesn't really smile, but he has like a little I don't know, like a little
smirk.
Grin, like kind of like that works. But
confident smirk.
But if he was like this, fucking,
he's also super handsome. Okay, that ain't me, bro.
Oh, you guys know Brian Jones? Lloyd Jones is his Instagram.
Yeah.
That was the issue with his posing too. He used to pose like this, and it was like, damn,
he does. Yeah.
The only one who could pull that off is Sergio Oliva Sr. He used to be like this the whole time. Remember, he'd be flexing on fucking serious ass face. But for some reason, on him, it it fit his personality. He's like, you know what? We're gonna let you rock with that one. He just looked like that kind of guy, like just a mad Cuban guy, you know.
Hardy looks mad too when he's posing.
But he looks confident. Like he looks like a soldier, you know.
Yeah.
Confidently pushes Crizzo out of the way.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
Yeah, he pushes shot at him.
He pushes hard. He's not fucking
Priceless.
around.
He's wild. He tried to do that with Bonac, and Bonac wasn't having it. He almost pushed him off the stage.
Yeah, Bonac's kind of a gangster, dude.
Yeah,
You don't take shit.
Dude,
You
have
don't
you
wanna
heard the
fucking-
stories with Bonac? Like, he made a guy shoot him, man.
Yeah, but I did hear that one. I did hear one, and I mean, I could see that honestly, but I could see that in Bonac. He doesn't back down. He doesn't back down from anything at all. He was about to fight Louis Marco. I don't even know what Louis Marco said, but he was going to
Oh
fight
man,
Louis.
that was a long time ago. I remember
That was
that.
wild. That was
Damn.
wild.
Bonac got
Yeah.
better after that too. He got better. He placed like second at the Olympia, I think, after that.
He
or
did.
third at the Olympia or whatever. So.
There was
He
a
went
story of him and Dexter getting into it, but I never heard the full story. But they became friends afterwards. But I
Yeah.
never heard the full story.
I heard it through Aceto and Dave. I think they actually mentioned it on the show. Like, I think Bonac was saying, he was mouthing to Dexter about saying, you know, you'll never beat me again or something. And then I think Dexter just dropped the like, I'm Mr. Olympia, like sort of thing, and nothing in it. Then it all settled. Now they're boys, man. So now they're good. But
They're
Yeah.
But you know what? In Williams' defense, I can see why he felt that way because, there was a while he was getting like 8th and 6th and 7th, and you're looking at him like, I don't know about, because this guy looks like he could beat everybody, you know. So he probably got frustrated, like, bro, can I move up a little bit? I'm fucking shredded. I'm round. I'm full. Like, what I got to do here? You know,
dude, I was at Bonac's breakout show, which was the Australian Pro. That's when he went into the Open, and it was him versus Sean Roden top 2, and you had like Neil Hill there, like it's yours, William, it's yours, and then Aceto's there, like, beautiful, Sean, you know, they're just both just like they're both just yelling out tops of their fucking voices. And this is when I was doing like media stuff there, so I'm like front row, and I just hear like Neil there, Chris there, and they're both going loud and hard. And it was close, man. That was Bonac blew my mind because Plumbo and stuff was there as well because he's on stage interviewing him afterwards, and it was that I had some interesting stories from those Australian pro shows and Australian Arnold Classics. Like even back in the day when Lee Thompson, like I don't know if you guys know about Lee Thompson and stuff, but
Oh yeah, we know about him.
yeah, so I think Aaron Stern was suing someone or suing the IFB or something. There was something going on there, and he goes on stage and goes like, she placed low, and he goes, well, what does she expect? And he was a head judge, so he's like literally just been like, yeah, what does she expect? And I'm just like, holy fuck, I'm just
He's wild.
I'm
He's wild. Wild guy.
Yeah, but he have a fixed job in for a bunch of people, man. It's like, yeah, he was bad.
He was no good.
We got to bring back the Australian shows, man. Get Tony Doherty, his ass in gear. I want to go to Australia.
They
He
don't
lost
do
a
the
lot of
Arnold.
money he lost a lot with the
Yeah, I
whole-
know. I
our
want
governments,
it to come back, man.
Ooh.
Fuck you, government.
Dude, he started planning shows. So the first one got cancelled. So he would have lost, you know, I don't even know because I haven't spoke to Tony about exactly how much. But he would have lost so much money on that. And then they set up another expo when things started open again. And then that got stopped again. So it's like, how many times can you be slapped in the fucking face? Like he got screwed, man. And the government, even though it brought so much tourism into Melbourne, having the Arnold Classic Australia there, he's bringing all this money into the state and he gets nothing from them. And they have all these other events where the government's like, oh yeah, we'll put up, you know, 900 million to have the Commonwealth Games or the Olympics or some shit. It's like, I don't know. It was,
Bullshit.
he got screwed, man. But I hope
That's
he
so
brings it
fucked up.
back because he's like the hardest working dude on the planet. Like you just sort of, he's one of those guys where it's like the dude could lose $3 million and he's only got $1 million and he's like $2 million in debt, but you just know he's going to get out of it. Like he's just going to work his ass off until he fucking collapses, you know? He's just one of those guys. So it's pretty motivating. When you know him and you're around him, you know the dude just doesn't stop and he's just seems to still have time to do everything. I don't know how.
We got to
those people
get
work.
Mitt 45 to come in and just make the show happen.
Save the day. Come on,
Yeah.
Mitt.
Kratom to save the day.
Unfortunately,
Kratom to
it's
the
illegal
rescue.
it's
I was
illegal in
about to
Australia.
ask, it's
So
illegal. Fuck.
fucking everything, man. Fucking everything. At least
All right,
people can get
gentlemen.
scripts here now. So.
We've been on somehow for almost 3 hours again.
It happened.
It happened, but I think I'm supposed to be on a Canadian Beef podcast. I'm not sure. We didn't confirm, but I'm tired, man. I'm fucking tired. I got to go train people and work out. I don't know if I got it in me. I don't want to be that guy, you know.
They got plenty of Canadians on there.
Yeah, to throw a Canadian.
They'll be fine.
Somebody want to fill in for me? What you got going on later? Zay, what you doing,
bro?
What you doing, Xavier? You want to go on a Canadian Beef?
I literally I've pulled almost an all-nighter. It's 9:50 here.
Man,
I'm gonna
I might
die
join
after this.
I might join from the car. Like, I don't think they might. I'll just be driving. Like, hey, drop in for like 30 minutes, bro. I'm tired, man. I'm tired, and I gotta eat and then work out and train people and edit this shit.
It's a schedule thing. It's a time thing.
Yeah, it's a lot. All right, gentlemen.
You got this, bro.
Thank you, man. Thank you, man.
All
right, my guys.
Seriously. Peace
All right,
out, man.
I'm gonna see y'all next time.
See you, man.
All right.
Yes, sir.
All right, brother.
Bye-bye.
guys.
Thank you for coming on. Yes, sir.